So, Par Vision, we're back at it yet again. And before we hop into this chapter and this beautiful color spread, did you see the Jump Festa news?
I did. Oda confirms Man Marked by Flames plus Laugh Tale plus a One Piece movie. I don't give a shit about the One Piece movie part, but
whoa! What if it's canon?
Well, according to Oda, even he's just like, they're not letting me tell you guys. That was mad funny the way he said it.
And he said production's going kind of badly. I'm like, yo, what?
It's moving along. He's like, oh yeah, hopefully this gets it moving along.
Yeah. He said, production's not going too well right now, but hopefully this lights a fire under their ass. It's like, yo, what's happening behind the scenes, man?
Yeah. What movie?
No idea. Apparently they've been working on it for 3 years, because that's when the Jinbei voice actor said that he recorded his voice lines for it.
So Jinbei's in the movie?
Yeah, no, Jinbei's in the movie, believe it or not. So whoa, I don't know what's happening. Crazy. It sounds like it's a production hell. It's got like a Dead Island 2 situation going on here. But yeah, One Piece movie is confirmed. No real news on it yet, minus just the existence of it. No name, no nothing. As far as the Man Marked by Flames, Oda said that we should be meeting him in 2026. So that is big. And it's kind of crazy to think about that too, because that means so much, right? Obviously, Oda's timelines are always super scuffed. Never take Oda at face value. He is Mr. Monkey Paw. But the thing with this is that if he really means that, right? Like, okay, we are going to see good old Man Marked by Flames in 2026, and we're still in Elbaf. There's a chance he's either in Elbaf already, or he comes to Elbaf. So that might be pretty big.
Yeah, and also, this is, for me, it was the this is Jump Festa, and every time he's done that, like, he's always said what's gonna happen next year. The issue is he's usually super vague. Like, was it 2 years ago? It was like, this man will fight that man, and it's like, okay, cool. Thanks.
I think that was like the Law Kid versus Shanks, Blackbeard, red hair, yeah.
And it's those like fights. You literally like, on one side you could say like, oh, it wasn't meaningful, but it's like, yeah, he obviously meant that. The problem wasn't that, it's just that he was vague, but like his message was still true. But so then you carry that over, this message is true and he's not being vague. Like, he's literally said word for word, like, Man Marked by Flames. And I think, what did he say? He said like, One Piece is moving lightning fast. I was like, oh,
yeah.
God.
He said he's going to pick up the pace. He said, yo, we're moving at breakneck speed, boys. It's like, dude, we're already going fast. He's going to go even faster. Okay, yeah. Cool. Cool.
Criticisms, like, I'm not like applying it to One Piece as a whole, but like, and I wouldn't say it's like the Wano thing, but like, I had mentioned several times that like, if the pacing is X speed, then XYZ and this character group is gonna look god awful. And then those, the Holy Knights came out looking god awful. And I'm like, yo, we left in the exact timeline that I said. And I said that if we do that, Oda's gonna like make them look garbage. And like, it's things like that kind of is an issue. But like, when Oda said that in the thing, I was like, Oda, please take care of your health. And then the next line, he's like, I ain't getting any younger. I'm like, oh, no! Please take care of yourself. It was so, oh, God. It was like I was reading it, and every time I reacted to something, he's like, just said it the next line, which is how the chapter reading ends up going too. But yeah.
Here we go. There's one more thing that got dropped. I mean, it was like simple sketches, but did you hear about Garling's other names, or the names that Oda almost gave him?
No, I saw the pictures, but I didn't see the names.
Yeah, so he dropped pictures and sketches of Garling, like early concept designs. Let's just say that this design of Garling that we got, the best design by far. The other ones are just very generic old men. And I think there's one with like really weird spiky hair, but also he's like balding. Garling looks great here. But the other names are kind of fire. At least one of them was. So when we first got Garling, the first thing I thought of, I don't know how many of you guys play Final Fantasy, but one of the first bosses in Final Fantasy is a guy named Garland. That was supposed to be one of his original names, Garland, instead of Garling. I'm like, yo, I like that a lot. Garland has aura. Outside of Garland, there was Gastra, which sounds like a gas demon. He sounds like he's gonna poison gas all of us. The other name was Denham. Den and then Ham. All one thing. I've never heard that one before. The next one is H. Beth. Yes, you heard that right.
Beth?
I thought Macbeth at first, but it's literally H-Beth. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's like a reference to Macbeth, but sure. And then the last one was Surridge. So, needless to say, the best names, in my opinion, were definitely Garling and Garland. I'm glad he went with Garling, because let me tell you, the others, I think are kind of cursed. Oh my god, Saint Surridge! Saint H-Beth! If he was H-Beth, he'd get memed on. Like, he would lose so much aura as Shanks' father.
Yeah, H-Beth is probably, like, the setup for, like, the Gorosei stuff, like, the whole, like, Venus Sujuro. Yeah. Like, he's probably trying to cook something up there.
And then he just said, you know what, this is weird. I don't like H-Beth either. Oda said, scrap that one. Keep that one in the lab. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. I do like seeing early concept designs, especially for like big characters. So Garling, W's, my man. But yeah, Jump Festa was huge though. Good news there. OPLA Season 2 trailer, if you guys like that. Oda is hyping the hell out of Chopper. I think they said, I don't know if this one's confirmed. I didn't care enough to look into it. But apparently the Chopperaimon series is getting a small anime spinoff, which... Hooray.
Yeah, it's not for us.
Yeah, it's not exactly
it's to get the
for
look.
Us.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, Oda's giving up on reaching the normal age group for One Piece. Because if you're like 10 and the options are like Demon Slayer and whatever, like One Piece, like, yeah, you can still watch it, but it's not an obligation like that. You know what I mean? And especially, I'm curious what the dynamic is in Japan, where it's like, it could honestly be seen as like, oh, the One Piece is for boomers, because it's like they're literally boomers. Well, whatever Japan's equivalent of boomer is, but like, you know, you could probably be 40 and reading One Piece, and then what, a 10-year-old's gonna be like whatever Japan's version of 6-7, or the Fentanyl that you were saying. Yeah, like they're out there doing that, and then you have the 40-year-olds are doing One Piece, right? So Oda's like, you know, I'm gonna try and reach the demographic before with Chopperimon, or whatever it's called. That makes sense, honestly. I think they did that with a lot of other series too, right? Like, technically, that's like, in my opinion, Clone Wars was a lot like that too, because I knew a lot of people that weren't into Star Wars because it was like this old thing and wasn't whatever. But then they watched Clone Wars and like, yo, let me give this like decades old thing a try, 1980s movie or whatever it is. And then they were like, oh, yeah, it's pretty good. And
it's pretty good. I like Clone Wars.
On Cartoon Network or whatever, I'm pretty sure it's Cartoon Network, they might not have had some of the people that I at least knew. So, yeah, it's like it makes sense, but
yeah,
not for us.
Can't hate Oda for doing that. I mean, that is what it is. Like you said, if
there's
you don't
some
like
crazy
it,
episodes
watch it.
though.
That's what I do for like the OPLA, you know. Except I watch it, I just don't like make dedicated videos about it. You know, I'm not gonna make videos like just straight up hating it. So it is what it is. So now we can move on to the actual chapter, and this is a great color spread. Yes. It is phenomenal from top to bottom. Barbell finally got the official colorings for that goober, and we kind of yapped about this a little bit around it, but the Jolly Roger that Rox has, is that just Barbell? You gotta admit, the Jolly Roger fits Barbell more than Rox. Like, what is going on there?
Dude, I knew you'd do this shit. Where
it's true though, right?
It's odd. It is odd. I was like, yo, I said this on stream. I said,
that's the thing.
Sai's first thing to me if we talk about it, is gonna be Barbell. Oda did this for Barbell to help his delusions, like wean him off a little bit. I am curious why I like the white made sense to me because of Nika, but like obviously like it wouldn't have been like an intentional thing, right? Like it's not like he even knew what Nika was or whatever, right? But the firehead, like maybe he's thinking about it. Maybe that's why he recruited Barbell at first in the first place. Was like in the Davy back fight, he was just like, he's like, hey, want to join my crew? I don't even have to do Davy back for you. And he's like, oh really? Yeah, I'll give a pass to Fishman this time. And
Yeah,
then
you get to design the
the rest is
logo.
history. Yeah, the rest is
Yeah,
history.
it's like the whole thing. It's like, okay, let's say Usopp, right? He was the one who drew up the Straw Hat Jolly Roger, but before he did that, he wanted to do the Usopp Pirate Jolly Roger. So it's like, what's going on here? Like, is this the same thing where it's like Rock's like, hey, Barbell, I heard you could draw. Like, why don't you cook us up a hell of a logo? And then it's just Barbell's logo. Like, there's genuinely something going on here. Like, for Shanks, you know, obviously it's the scar, blah, blah, blah. Blackbeard gave it to him. Roger, it's his mustache, but also it might be somebody else's mustache. That's still a weird one. Luffy, it's the straw hat. Like, all of these, generally, all of the Jolly Rogers in One Piece correlate to the captain somehow, some way. The fire hair doesn't really correlate to Rock's, unless that's like Davy Jones's hair.
Which would be wild, but...
Yeah, that would be wild if Davy Jones had fire hair, but like that is the best option.
We find out that Barbell has actually just been... That's why he disappeared, bro. Like, Emu showed up, and he's just like, shit, they're coming back to collect the debt, you know? Like, he just started running. Yeah, it gives a whole new... Like, he's not a loan shark, he's a debt shark, right? Like, that's what it would be.
I mean, that's one of the things, right? Like, Barbell
he
is
looks
an
not
oddball.
Fishman. He doesn't look Fishman in this, actually, now that I'm looking at it.
He looks pretty Fishman.
I don't know, he kind of looks like...
Somebody said that too. Somebody, you in the comment, I think it's Derek Miles or Mr. Nine. If it's not you, then I apologize. It's just like one of the first profile pictures that popped into my head. But somebody said that they're like, oh, like what if Barbell is human and he's pretending to be a fish? But I was like, why would he do that though?
Yeah, I don't agree with that. But
and it was a narrator box that told us it wasn't Barbell or anybody else who said he's a fishman. It was the narrator, so it'd be like an unreliable narrator at that. It's like I think he's a fishman. He's just funny looking.
It's just like I think it's the nose. I think that he looks like a... I forget what reference I'm having, but like there's some times where it's like a character who's a different species like gets turned into a human in like
Animorph.
I can't think of it. No, not that. Like it's straight up like someone puts like a human disguise on them, like the humanifies them, and they're like normally like a lizard man, or not a lizard man, but like a frog man or something. I can't think of the reference, so it doesn't make sense.
What the hell are you talking about, dude? What the fuck you watching?
Straight up something, but
yeah. So I watched this show where animals become people. Like, okay, Bar. What show is this? I'm so curious now, man.
Getting back to it though, what's interesting is he has the logo before Barbell.
Yeah, he has the logo before Barbell. Well, maybe Barbell was like, Rocks, I'll only join your crew once you become a great pirate.
Why does he sound like Donald Trump?
Was that
what
Donald
was
Trump?
that impression? Yeah.
Sometimes I just drop like random ass impressions. It just vibes with my soul. But there's also a possibility that Barbell has been a part of the crew and he just didn't go to Elbaf. Like maybe he's allergic to giants.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't have blue skin. Well, yeah, wait a second.
What's up?
Shouldn't he be a little bit bluer than this?
No, we've never seen him colored.
No, but like Fishman.
Not every Fishman is blue.
Hachi's an octopus, so he doesn't count. Fishman.
Not every like Fishman is blue. Right, I think a majority of them are blue, but we have seen some red ones and some pink ones.
Isn't Hachi the only like red one I could? Oh, Fisher Tiger. Yeah, Fisher Tiger.
Yeah, we have like different colored Fishmen. If like you just
Yeah.
type in
You know,
Fishman Island and you look at the civilians, you get like every color of the rainbow, dude.
you know why I was thinking that?
Why?
Because on Elbaf, they're like, "Ooh, so your skin's blue, Jinbei," and I
Yeah, that's
was
just
thinking,
racist.
I was just thinking, like, huh, could they have met another fisherman that's like yellow or something, and then they just like didn't think as a fisherman, like they just look at Jinbei's like, "Are you the same? Can't tell." Have we seen a black giant?
No. No black giants yet.
Damn. Hmm.
Maybe we'll see him during the Void Century, though.
An opportunity. An
Opportunity
has
arises,
arisen.
Oda.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's where Usopp comes in. Got it. Good point. Son, good point.
Good point, though. Good one, Oda. Yeah, it's interesting. You know, Barbell is such a weird oddball. Like, I swear to God, man, if he is the man marked by flames, I'm gonna lose my mind. Because we gotta remember, the
Yeah,
man marked by flames legitimately has the Fishman Island poneglyph. Fishman, flame hair. Hey guys, pick up the phone. Agartha's calling.
ooh.
It's a stupid meme.
Uh,
Yeah, you
um,
wouldn't understand. It's just brain rot.
the his hair being fiery, like I'm like before even him. Listen, I've been like Hyogoro had that too, like in his youth, like when he was powered up. Then when he hit his prime again in Ice Oni, hit that flame again. It's like there's something there, and then we got Nika having it, and it's like okay, like the fiery hair is such a crazy choice, like especially when you have it's the Rock's pirate crew, and it's not just like any character, it's a character who like disappeared. Like why did he just like show he's as mythical as that Yeti right now, and it's there's
You're
like
goddamn right,
levels
Barbell
to it
is.
too. Oda made this like the strong world rocks version of it. And Shiki's for some reason on the opposite side of Barbell. And Shiki was the main character of like not just Strong World, but people were thinking that he was gonna be the main character of Elbaf too. Remember that when we before we got here, it was just like, oh, that's Shiki. And then like I mean, you and I had also been like, hey, it's possible. I mean, we're not gonna be
Oh
upset if it's
yeah.
not, but like Scopper's a great great option too, but like it's just kind of interesting that like all of these characters for the most part, even the background characters, it like Ganzui and Silver Axe, they're on opposite ends, and they're kind of like not part of the story, right? Then we have Strawson, even he was pretty important, he with Big Mom, um Stussy, Gloriosa, Captain John's Treasure, Kaido, Wang Ji got the huge lift up at the end. Um, I think the
So many
main thing,
people here have stood out is essentially Par saying Barbell hasn't.
yeah,
Like Barbell has no legacy to our knowledge. We never saw him leave God Valley. Like Kyoto, you could argue, also didn't get the same amount of love, but we saw like multiple panels of Kyoto getting his ass beat, yelling at Shiki. We saw him getting beaten by Marco's dad. We saw him leave the island. You know, even though Kyoto didn't leave like a lasting mark or, have any crazy legacy, he at least had something on screen. Barbell really hasn't. He's the one Rocks
mhm.
Pirate member that has genuinely done nothing yet. So it's like, I don't know what's happening with this guy. Like, there's a non-zero chance that he's the man marked by flames.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I thought it was a Fishman, and I like my choice, but there was always I think if you asked anybody who made a theory about it, like a concerted one, not like like one where they're even locked in, and they're like they said that this is the character, and they would put like 90% stocks, if not more. I think it would be weird if any of them said that it's not an option for it to be a new character. I think the new character option was always there, is never zero. And with One Piece, especially with how things have been going, it's like, yeah, like a new character is 100%. And like I would put new character like Louis Arnaud, right? Like, is that a new character? Yeah, to me, like, you know what I mean? Like, I get
To
it.
me,
We
he
knew
is in my heart.
he's like, yeah, he wrote a book, but like, do you know what he looks like? We don't even know if that's his name. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know where he's from. I don't know what he looks like. I don't know what he could do. It could be a girl. You know what I mean? Like,
Better not be a
to
girl.
me, it could be, and like that would have been a new character technically for me. And so is Barbell fitting in there very interesting. I'd like to think it it's a weird bucket or a slippery slope, I guess, of like writing of like you don't have to make every character important, and I like it shouldn't be that we expect that every character has importance, but the Rock's crew is a little interesting of a group to, you know what I mean? Like the Revs, sure, throw in some garbage. Hell, I can point out a few of them, right? The Rock's crew was like handpicked. There's a little bit different than anything else, right? Like Rock straight up was like gambling for some of these dudes, except for Big Mom and Kaido. Every other one was gambled for and using the Davy backfight. Like that's not the same thing, you know? Like it does feel like, yeah, kind of similar with how Luffy is choosing people. Like he had a certain number in mind, he had certain professions in mind, but then there was also like, yo, guy in a box, I want that. Skeleton on a ship, I want that. Is that what Rox was doing with it? Or was it like more specific? And I feel like Rox was a little bit more like, we do know that like was it Captain John and Big Mom were like the information czars of his crew, right? Like they were like, I'll check this hemisphere and you check that hemisphere, right? Like and Wang Ji was like the prophesizing guru pirate guy. Like everyone had something, and then not to mention that like Hachinosu also, the character said it looked like a fishbowl. There's an interesting connection with like even Hachinosu. I wouldn't be surprised if the Davy clan, had some kind of connections there too. I don't know. Could be that like I don't know, something as random as like they being brothers, just like the Kozuki and Mink, maybe Davy and Fishman. Like I don't know, it could be something like that. Um, but yeah, Barbell is like one of those. He's your Bogard,
But
better.
he's better than Bogard.
Yeah, yeah. I
He
agree.
has
I agree.
shown more relevancy in 10
Yeah.
chapters than Bogard ever has.
Okay, I won't go that far, but I would
I don't
say
think
that
Bogard has ever shown up in a color spread.
oh, he's shown up in a cover story, brother. One of the first
Yeah,
ones to
not
be
color spread,
animated.
though,
He's the
let me tell
first
ya.
animated cover story of the entire series. You're fighting the wrong fight. I'm on your side. What I was going to say is that the potential max for Barbell is way higher than Bogard. Like even in the max potential, even if you applied my theory, it's not like what like right now, especially right now. Like his hair alone makes him more important. You know what I mean? Like that's the truth. That's reality. It's like Bogard. It can be cool. Bogard can come in the story, but like there's not really a max where like Oda can give him a role that makes sense for the man marked by flames that was announced in Jump Festa that we talked about. That's a fishman. You know what I mean? Like that also alone makes it really important, right? Like it's like it that there's certain things. Rock's pirate, right? Like there's so many levels to it, but don't get carried away with the whole. I'm giving you
Don't get carried away with
handing
Barbell
an
now.
olive branch.
I'm just saying, dude. I've been seeing the chatter online. People are coming around on not Bogard, Barbell.
You want to fight? You want me to jump at
I
you?
almost I can't believe I accidentally said the other B guy.
Yeah. Oh, it's Bo B. Is there another B forgotten name? No. I was gonna say the Willoughbys.
The Willoughby's
forgotten.
Beppo.
Beppo.
Yeah,
Beppo got his
list.
cocaine bear there. He's not in the same league anymore. Chopper gave him drugs. Hey, give Barbell drugs too. I'm down. Cocaine.
Give him something, dude.
Cocaine. Oh, roid him out. Barbell. Barbroids? I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Bradley Martin, something like that. Yeah.
So yeah, Barbell, we are eagerly awaiting your arrival as the man marked by flames. I cannot wait for him to show up here in Elbaf and send Emu home with his Conqueror's hockey. We both agree. So, going down and onto the chapter now, we see that Roger had a son. Shanks is finally learning about it. And apparently Garp has been going around spilling the beans, man. Do you think Garp is just like laudering this over like every Roger pirate's head? Like, hey, I know a secret about the captain that you don't. Like, I know something about Roger. You weren't there in his final moments, but I was. I bet he's definitely like going around having fun with this dude.
You know, I was thinking, like, on a separate funny note was, you went that route with the Garp thing. I was like, what if we find out that Ace isn't Roger's son? And, like, the whole story of Portgas holding him for 2 years is just bullshit. She just had another dad. Roger would never know. You know what I mean? Like, he
That'd
would just,
so
he was like, I'm going to have a son, Garp. But he died. So, like, how would he know and then we flash forward and Portgas like, yeah, no. What do you mean 2 years? You crazy? Like, do you know how women work? Like, let me tell you about periods too, right? And I was like, huh, there's a world where like that was all bullshit too, and they just like convicted Ace for no reason. And then Garp just like, because Garp is the kind of guy who would just be like, oh, you're not? Wait, what? I thought, huh? And then, well,
dude, imagine if they did that. Like next year, Sengoku hops on the microphone saying, guys, we did it. We finally found Roger's son. It's like, what? Huh? Did we just like fight a whole war about this guy? He had another one. That's an easy way to execute people, is it not? Just, hey, we found Roger's son. We got another one, y'all.
This
might be one of the best theories you've ever cooked up.
You just discovered the problem with capital punishment. What, we could just make up an excuse to just execute people.
But no, okay. Hear me out. It's not a problem with capital punishment. I think you're jumping the gun on that one. I think that if they want to eliminate somebody, just do it. Why not? This isn't a problem. This is just what I would call it is a fun loophole that works in our favor.
Oh, yeah, that's what you would call it. Yeah, in the One Piece world. If you were a Kainu, you'd be like, if you were in a Kainu, you'd be like, I gotta speak to my lawyers about this one, huh? That's a good loophole. You're telling me Roger's blood is dirty? Let me tell you all the islands.
Like, here we go, boys. Like, imagine you're with like the gang, and they're like, dude, we got another execution on our hands. Like, they're all like hyping it up. Like, oh, is it another Roger kid?
Yeah. If that was the case, I would literally. All right, I'm not gonna finish that statement. I was gonna be like, I would poke a hole in Roger's, or not poke a hole in Roger's condom. I would get the condom, keep it, and then inseminate, and then you justify all of your means. Like, haha, see, I wasn't lying. You guys did have the blood. It just, wasn't like fully formed yet. You'd find his like DNA, everybody here. Yeah. That could honestly, Roger could be doing that. You could probably find his DNA all over the place. I'd imagine Roger's crew was like that.
I'm surprised he doesn't do that. Like, if you're gonna die, why not just spread your seed realistically?
No, I'm saying that they probably were spreading their seed. Like, the way they were running up on the Kuja pirates, they 100%, they're not No Nut November. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, just why not, dude?
I'm surprised the seeds weren't white behind them. I'm surprised there's no snail trail behind their boat, with the way they were acting.
Like, if Roger knows that they're going to go around killing his kid and finding his wife, why not just, like, have a kid per island? Eventually, the Marines are going to miss one island out there, right? Or, actually, since the Laugh Tale is damn near unfindable, why not put them on Laugh Tale?
Maybe you need hockey. Like, what if you die if you don't have hockey on it?
Wait, yeah, why not send Rogue to Laugh Tale? I mean, she would not be persecuted whatsoever. Like, they can't, what are they going to do about that? Like, oh my god, Portgas Rogue, she's at Laugh Tale. Quick, guys, let's not find her. I mean, how do we get there? Well, yeah, they're cooked.
I mean, also there's the reality that, like, we don't even know if Roger knew Rouge. because like the timeline kind of has it that he just like knocked her up and then kind of like dipped. We don't know if they like cared. It could have been like the Garling thing, you know?
No, I think he cares. Garland cares too.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah.
Care? Oh, I didn't see that in psychology or marriage like 101.
Care, love, and support is what they'd call it.
Yeah. I didn't know he
Yeah.
was a primetime dad. That's crazy.
Yeah, they just had a falling out. What would people call it nowadays? Like a simple disagreement?
I don't know if that's what they call it nowadays. Those words existed a long time.
It's more
Simple and
normalized now. So when
Um,
it comes to Ace's existence, a big debate. Well, not a big debate. I don't think people are like that, gung ho about this one. It doesn't matter. But like,
mhm.
did Shanks know ahead of time? Does Scopper know? Did they learn with the Sengoku message? Did Shanks piece it together over time? How did it come about in your mind?
uh, it seems like it's like the weird part is the like Scop like what was Scopper doing? Wasn't Scopper just here most of the time? So like did
Probably
Garp come
vacationing.
this way? Yeah, like, but we do know that Scopper did leave, but the other part is we also know that he didn't see Shanks, but he did. Do we? Actually, I'm forgetting the jacuzzi thing. Did Scopper mention seeing Rayleigh? Because, like, if he did, then that's probably on the way there. Then he saw Garp that time, right? But, um, actually, no, I think he said he didn't see Rayleigh. Because, like, weren't they saying, like, damn, it's been a while. I haven't seen anybody. So I almost wonder what he did go out to do. Because
Yeah,
if he
what was
didn't
he
see
doing out
Crocus and
there?
didn't see Rayleigh, um, at least from our standpoint, Oda doesn't care about any of the other Roger pirates, even though there's like 50 of them. And Oda did like an entire names drop for every single one of them and gave us jobs and gave us like their designs, not just concept. But anyways, point is that like it could be something that's meaningful, or it could just be that Garp is doing the same thing that he did with Luffy. He just kind of like spilled. He's like, whoops, my bad. He like it was probably like, damn, like Roger went away too soon. He's like, yeah, he didn't get to meet his son. And Scott was like, huh? What do you mean by that?
Oh,
And
you don't
Scott's
know?
like, yeah, his son's Ace. You huh? And then he's like picking his nose, turns around, and then you just see a giant silhouette pop up on in behind Garp, and it shows exactly what Ace looks like to Scopper, and Scopper's just like, huh? And then I like the only question there is were there witnesses like there was in the Navy? Yeah, I'd imagine. Yo, that's actually crazy because I would imagine. Yo, Garp's crew probably knows too. Just like how because Garp's crew is kind of trustworthy because they knew that Luffy was, Dragon's son, and they were like, "Huh?" And they kept it in at least till Marineford, right? Like, I'm not saying that's a long time, but that is like all of them kept that as a the world's
Yeah, it's
worst
Garp's
criminal.
gang, dude. Gotta keep it a
Yeah,
secret.
and they're all related, so that's a big thing. So I would imagine Garp's crew probably also. It would be rarer to think that Garp's crew didn't know about Ace. Actually, now that I think about it, they all locked in. Garp's crew, including their leader Bogard, locked in a steel trap, bro. How they're holding in the secrets they're not even obligated to. You know what I mean? That's wild. I never thought about it like that. Thank you for showing me that. That's
Oh
cool.
yeah, of
Thank you.
course. I'm glad
Yeah,
you
yeah,
came to that like realization after like all these years.
yeah. The Bogart is like a steel trap. Keep
Yeah,
any
these guys
secret.
just holding that information mainly because Bogart doesn't talk. But yeah, because you're hyping up Bogart, we also got to hype up Barbell a little bit more. People are saying around the block that Bogart, if that Jolly Roger is supposed to be him, that he's essentially the Obito and Madara of the Rocks pirates.
I
And
just
Rocks
want to
is
point out.
simply the Tendo, the Nagato.
I just want to point out the lengths at which never in the history of Parcast have we ever started the chapter and gone back back to a color spread, not the cover story, color spread, just to push an agenda. Whoa, that
Never
is
done that.
some dirty work. The editors, make sure you put that, put a editor note on that one. Keep track of that. That was wild. That was wild behavior.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. So yeah, this is some cool stuff. Garp just dropping the beans. And one big thing is that Scopper mentions that, hey, you and Buggy, Shanks, you guys are like our sons. And it's like, damn, dude, Buggy has that amount of pull. It's crazy. Like, if Buggy were to get executed at Marineford, would Rayleigh and Scopper show up? They're like, yo, no, you're not killing Buggy the Clown. Not my boy.
That would be crazy. I don't know. I doubt it. I don't think
really? What?
Yeah. Nah, they wouldn't.
I don't know, dude. I think they could. Maybe Scopper looks at Buggy and he's like, that's the son I always wanted.
As long as they're pirates, nah, because even if they were civilians, they wouldn't care. And then if they were pirates, they'd be like, yeah, it's your own adventure, right? That's out there. I mean, look at the Roger pirate crew at the end of the day. Like, Scarborough don't give a shit about Rayleigh or Crocus. Like, they could have been dead all these years. Never would have been the wiser.
Card?
Doubt it.
If the Vivid card burns, Scopper's like, oh, Ripley, I need to go.
I would love that, but I wonder what it would look like, because it's not just one Vivid card, right? You're saying that, like, what if they had like a handful, like but at that point you have to have like the Roger Pirates, right? But I feel like you wouldn't want that in the first place. I feel like every Roger Pirate would not want a Vivid card, but we know that Rayleigh. Wait, does Rayleigh Rayleigh doesn't have one, right? He has other people's. Or does he have one too?
Rayleigh gave the Straw Hats all his Vivery card. Like, every Straw Hat got it. So, the idea that Rayleigh gave the crew Vivery cards isn't that crazy. He was the Vivery card distributor pre-time skip. He's the reason why they made their way back to Saboti.
Like, imagine having 50 pieces of paper, right? And then you're like busy. Like, imagine his son Colin's being born, and he just like page 50 or 49 is burning. Like, do you leave? Like, do you go?
It depends who 49 is. Like, if it's like Millet Pine, I think you just let him die.
Or Moon Isaac Jr.
Yeah, it's Jackson Banner. You're like, oh, who gives a fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Maybe it's like
he's dying.
Only like the top, like that was the benefit of being like a top officer. You got a Viver card where like they would descend upon your if you were about to die, they would fall in from the heavens. Like, even Roger would from death, and he'd save you. No, I mean, that's not true, but like,
it depends on how much you contributed to the Pirate King adventure. Like, if you're Rayleigh level, the whole crew swings out. If you're Moon Isaac Jr., Millet Pine comes to your rescue, and that's it.
Yeah. I mean, also, like, a question mark here with the whole name thing. Like, the Captain Roger has a son. Didn't say the name. So, like, it's interesting because it's like, did they really only find out at Marineford?
Possible. But then again, people are saying, oh, but Roger's blade is named Ace, and there's a guy named Ace. So yeah, they could put that together, but I mean, it is the world of One Piece. I'm not going to, like, say it's 100%. We have seen characters just be, like, kind of oblivious or, like, not know. So it's like, I don't know. How much of the news does Scupper actually read?
I'm a little, as a reader, I feel like, okay, the reality is that Ace to Roger is kind of besides the freckles, it's kind of like Blackbeard to Rocks. The only reason why we don't think that is because Roger got like reworked, like image wise. Like, the Roger at the very beginning of the story did not look yeah, Ace didn't look like as much as Roger, but then like by the time we got to Wano, Oda made Roger and Ace look pretty much just without mustache. Like that's it. Like they had the same hair, they had the same face shape, features, like, and so it is kind of interesting when you think about it. It's like they all see the bounty poster, like Rayleigh's at the bar, he's just like, ah, oh, that guy, he just reminds me of my captain. Oh no, the freckles, it couldn't be. Roger hated freckles.
The Ace name must be a coincidence.
Yeah, yeah. But like, and then, but the thing is, the person who I don't suspend belief for is Shaki. Shaki 100% had to have known. Like, she's literally the person who's like, yeah, Boa's, Luffy's literally at Amazon Lily. Why, Shaki? Yeah, because I imagine if Luffy landed there, Boa fell in love, and so if Boa wanted to save him, he probably smuggled. Like, she figured out shit that didn't really make sense. I'm sure she'd look at a picture of Ace. Be like, yeah, you know that's your best friend's son, right? Rayleigh's like, nah. You kidding me?
Roger was a virgin.
Yeah.
Imagine that's it. Roger laying seed?
You know what? That is actually
laughing.
That would be my favorite copium. If the crew thought that Roger was a virgin, I accept everything.
You know what would be a crazy plot twist? If Roger actually like was revealed to be like infertile.
And then my theory's right? Like, what do you mean?
No, just he is like infertile. That's it.
Okay, so then where did Ace come from?
We don't know.
That would be my not cracker. Oh, I hit the hard R there. Like cracked out theory there. Oh my god, that'd be so
scary. Would that be scary though? Like imagine that. Like we learned that Roger was infertile, and then now we're just wondering where did Ace come from? Like what's happening?
Ace was a ghost.
That'd be like one of the biggest plot twists of the century.
Ace was never real. He was just a yokai. Maybe. That is kind of a thing, you know, like actually.
And then the thing is too, like before he was Gold Roger, imagine he was blank shooter Roger. It's the blank shooter. It's him.
I would run.
Like, what would you do about that? That's a crazy nickname though, the blank shooter.
I don't know. Like that? I would wear a condom. I don't fucking know. Like,
would you rather be known as the infertile man as your epithet or the blank shooter? The blank shooter, right?
That's actually so funny that you brought that up because someone on stream before you came on, people were bringing up like someone relevant to this chapter. They said like Ivan the something and Ivan the Boneless. And I'm like, the Boneless. I looked it up. I was like, I usually don't look up things like that. Like on stream when it's like I don't see the
super I usually don't look up PP, but let me tell you, on the stream I just had to look it up. Ivan, what are you rocking with?
The reason why I looked it up is because there's a certain like nuance of like Luffy, boneless, right? Like him being rubby. I'm like, damn, like what did it mean for this guy, right? And so
what is it not having a bone actually mean? I gotta find out.
They said that the larger theory was that he was born with like a defective legs or some shit, so he couldn't really like walk. But like other people were saying that it could have been that he was impotent.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But then I'm like, wait, boneless is kind of weird because if you're shooting blanks, that doesn't mean like you can't get a boner. That's a crazy spin-off.
But maybe because he was shooting blanks, he ended up with like erectile dysfunction. Like it fucked with his psyche so hard. He's like, I don't want to have a boner anymore.
So then I was like, bro, that sucks. As like an epithet, like this is what he died and being known as, the Boneless. And like if it's because he's a paraplegic or some shit, instead he's known as he's impotent. And it's not even that. It's or not he has erectile dysfunction, but it's not that he's shooting blanks. I'm like, this is so messed up. And then I predicted it. I was like, yo, what if it's none of these things? I forget what I said, but I clocked it. What it was that people were or the scholars were saying that
The scholars.
it's likely that his epithet was not the boneless, it was the hated, and he was an insane. And so, oh, that's what I said. I said this sounds like an epithet that was written by the victors, and he was not on their side. They hated his ass, and that's what I said. And then it turned out his epithet was the hated, and in Latin, that's something ex osis. And so in Latin, if you are like a normal level reading Latin person and you were a scribe, for example, and you read that, X means without and os means without bone, but together it means the hated. And I'm like, that sucks so hard because he was this monstrous like invader that was just holding off the things, and he was known as the hated. But because of like illiteracy, they called him the boneless, and they made up some bullshit that he couldn't get it up or he was shooting blanks. I'm like, and then he didn't have legs. Yeah, I'm like,
yeah. At what point do you just feel bad for this guy? Like, dude, come on. He earned his stripes, like, man. I don't know who he killed, but he earned his stripes.
Imagine
Let him go.
This guy is from the year 800, so that means 1,200 years later, he's still getting bastardized on Wikipedia. That's some insane curse. like their gods could not have been like, yo, brother, my bad. Like I couldn't stop the wiki page, bro. Like, that's so.
It's funny because we could just be defending this guy. And he's like the worst guy known to mankind, just like the slayer of like innocent women and children. But it's fine. We don't know him. It's a lot of time has passed. It's like the Titanic. You know, after a while you can just beam on it.
No, but like this, I said that exact same thing. I'm like, listen, guys. Even if he did heinous stuff, the reality is, we don't make up random bullshit for even Hitler. Like we're not out going like, oh, that guy, micro penis. Like what the fuck? Like,
no, actually, people do say that nowadays.
Oh, yeah,
but the narrative has shifted against Hitler.
It's not on his wiki page. Like, okay, yeah, people might say it, but we also are like, people are like, yeah, but that's not true. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I don't know what's true or not true, but the reality is 1,000 years later, to be known for the boneless is so that's messed up. That's messed up. There's no way around that. I wouldn't do that to you, Sai. I'm just saying. Like,
I appreciate it, man.
Oh god, like imagine that you're Sai, the spoiler emperor, and then they like reimagine it, and man. It's like the expired man. He died like and it's like, wait, how did he have a YouTube channel if he died like too early? I don't know. Like they just make some random shit up about you off of spoiled. Yeah. Died from spoiled milk. That'd be crazy.
Sad days, man. How do we even get here?
Yeah. I don't know.
I have no idea. So we go back to the chapter for a second. We're at the castle. We see that King Harold's body is moving on its own. And it's pretty crazy stuff, you know? Like, he's killing people. He's like, whoa, what the hell? Like, I'm confused. And then he thinks back and he's like, man, if I just keep on mowing my people down, things are going to get really bad. Everything I worked for the past 104 years, 44 years, actually, it's going to be down the drain. Guys, just kill me. We see that the giants all just go in to stab King Harold. And I just love how people have been pointing out that these giant guards look so happy doing it. Like they've been waiting to just stab King Harold. And it just shows you, man, these giants, fighting is in the blood. Like you can't remove it, Harold. Like these guys are just ready to stab you on command. Like no questions asked. Like, yeah, let's do it, man. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the dynamic is pretty interesting too. I'm looking. I wanted to double check with the Viz translation, which I did for the Scopper part, and the dialogue's a little. It's like it means the same thing, but it's just a little funnier. It like Shanks says Captain Roger had a son? Question mark exclamation point. And Scopper goes, apparently so. That's what Garb told me at least. And the next line is the part. It's like, I'm amazed that he survived the Navy search then. It's like the casual genocide mention. Like, that's
That's so funny. I
crazy.
love that.
Yeah. Because in the TCB, the way I took it as, I was like, yeah, it's a little weird he said that because it's like, he's 10. What would the Navy do? But I kind of forgot about like the thing. But it's like the TCB's like the kid's done well to stay out of the Navy because he didn't do shit for any of that. You know what I mean? Like Garp hit him and Rouge kept him in the womb. And so like this part does make sense, right? The Viz part saying, I'm amazed that he survived the Navy search then. That does lock in. It's still wild to say. So in my opinion, that's a Viz W. Just gotta point that out. People are always keeping count on how much we hate Viz, but like I like that
We're
translation.
pretty objective, man. I'm gonna say it right now. It's just that, truth be told, the Viz makes a lot of mistakes, so it'd be like that.
And
but
so
they earned their flowers with this one. Good job, Viz.
In the throne room, like not on the thing, but Viz kind of similar thing. I think the dynamic of the guards and the king is pretty interesting because it's like he's standing over a dead body and they're not upset. They're just like, why? Like they're like, how do we avoid upsetting you, sir? Like you are fully justified. Kill more. Just
why not,
next
man?
one,
right.
Let us know how we can avoid that fate. It's kind of, he's coming up to chain you up, like you said, as they sweat bullets. Like if he wasn't possessed by a demon monster, he could do this and they would be fine. They wouldn't be horrified. That's what I got from this. I'm like, wait, like,
I mean, you gotta imagine this is an entire country of savages. This is pretty normal.
But
they used to be savages before King Harold. Like, what if they're like, oh yeah, my father told me about this. This is the casual killings of 1927.
That was 100 years ago. Oh, well, you did do that.
Giant years, man. Let me tell you.
30 years ago for a giant. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, yeah, the whole thing of the flip of the switch. I do think that they're like, it is kind of, it makes sense kind of that they would do that. They just like they did this before Harold had killed one of the guards. Then I feel like the hesitancy would be more expected. But because they're literally just over a dead body and Harold's response is kill me, then I'm like, okay, now I get why there was no hesitancy, So like all of it, low key makes sense, I could see it. The still part that I don't get is the guard that was stopping Loki, like the one that was running interference, because the last they heard was bring Loki here immediately, set him free from prison, tell him to come here. But sir, it's Loki. Yeah, no, I don't care about that. Bring him here. And then that guard's like, let me check with Harold real quick. And it's like, bro, what? Like, Loki's fully justified of putting his foot through that guy. That guy is obnoxious. That guy should have been the guy, dang.
A lot of these Elbafians, they're not the smartest cookies out there.
They didn't go
Dude, okay, later on in this chapter, a big thing, I was going to skip forward to this. A big thing that we were wondering was, how did the doors get locked? Who does it? Apparently, King Harold just says, guys, there's intruders, lock the doors. And the guards do. It's like, bro, what? Huh? Like, they have no clue what's going on in here. Like, they hear King Harold scream out, but they don't hear the guards begging for their lives, saying the king's going crazy. What is going on?
Yeah. Emu gave him the megaphone for that one. That was the one.
There was like a megaphone effect. So it's like, okay, maybe there's something at play there, but I don't know.
Okay, this doesn't sound I don't really mean it's my favorite thing, but my favorite thing in this whole scenario is that it's justified that the guards don't really get what's going on with Harold because he's not 3 times bigger. He doesn't have horns magically growing back. He doesn't have wings. He doesn't have a random new trident, or fangs, or his eyes are,
it's like
this makes sense. This part does make sense. Like for the guards, for sure, and to the extent that even Loki. And I would say that for Loki, it's also kind of weird too, because like, or not weird. It's more justified for Loki than the guards, because realistically, Loki spent less time with his dad than the guards. So, but on Loki's side, just getting that was probably another favorite part, but I like actually my favorite part where he was just like he clashed with Harold and he goes, "Nah, this ain't my dad. My dad either he's taking roids or like I don't know. Don't people get stronger in prison? Like what happened to me? Like he's like what happened? That was a good part because it's like when Rocks crashed out, Kaido, Big Mom, they didn't sense any difference. They were like, nah, that's my captain. Through and through, through and through. Not a single thing's different with this guy.
Yeah, he's fine.
At least Loki's like, I know my dad. I know I could whoop his ass on a normal day. Maybe a good day for me, I could whoop his ass. But like this ain't a good day for him. This is the best day possible. Like what's happening?
Yeah, Loki sniffed that shit out quick.
Yeah. I like that Oda gave us the benchmark, the metric. You know what I mean? Like we saw Harold clashing with Rocks. We saw him like constantly be the force in every room. Even when he was a holy knight, he was the force. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he never had to fight them and they never fought him. But like I would imagine they wouldn't have a great time trying to take down Harold, especially if Egghead is any if Oimo and Kashi are wrestling down Venus. I'm sorry guys, I think Harold can solo. Like obviously he can't win. He doesn't know how to. I mean, we have to see how Harold goes down here because then it's debatable. But like at this moment, I'm just gonna say, yeah, I imagine Harold just hits the regeneration block but like he's looking good still. He's looking good until it's not good. And then the thing is, when we got to Elbaf, Loki was the benchmark that we were given of the strongest period, could take on all of Elbaf. And so there's this dead guy who's his dad, and then there's Loki who could take on all of Elbaf and killed his dad and all of Elbaf, and then now we have it. He's like being possessed. Like you could say in this moment he's restraining himself, like because he's fighting Emu's thing, but it doesn't feel like it feels like his body's doing the stuff. And his mind is like he's allowed to talk, right? But like the actions are still there. So like this is I think like an accurate telling that like Loki is god tier. Like he started off like wherever Yamato started for us when we got her in Onigashima, it's like we believe that like, okay, if there was a character that just enters the series and can fight Kaido, it's this, right? Yeah, Loki's above that. Loki's like the guy, he could beat Kaido. Like if he was there, he beats the dad, he beats the villain, and he beats everyone around him too. Like that's what we're getting. And then this is the Loki that doesn't have Ragnir. Now we give him Ragnir and maybe fruit, like and that's the Loki we're getting 14 years later. My God. And then what's even crazier, I'm gonna start sounding like King of Lightning now, but like that Shanks beat him.
Oh,
what does that mean?
I thought you were gonna bring up Vince Smoke Judge.
That's
it's funny. I haven't really interacted with Cole all that much, so it's like whenever I think of Cole, I still just think back to like the Vince Smoke Judge take.
Top four,
top 5 character in terms of strength.
Yeah.
I got it. Like I don't think he was like wrong to cook that up. I don't think he was.
Dude, I forget.
It's so justifiable. You know what? I love it. I love that.
Was it? No, I think it was you. I'm forgetting. But like, I feel like I confronted him and he's like, didn't Sanji lose to him? And I'm like, shut up. Like,
wait, has Judge ever lost? I mean,
yes, he's lost to Big Mom.
I guess he's not wrong. Wait a minute.
He lost to Big Mom. On screen. His face got cracked.
I don't know, man. I think Cole just cooked up another storm.
This storm was cooked up like a decade ago, and I don't know why he's keeping it going, bro. The wind.
It's a great storm to have going, though. I'll admit.
No, what it is it's not a sucker punch, but it's like a when he's debating you, and then that's his way to throw you off your game because you're just so dumbfounded. You're like, what did he just say? How am I? What? Is he serious? And it's like now you're talking about that, and then you just forgot what you just were talking. It's like gives you amnesia just enough for him to just for you to forget what you were saying against Shanks, and then he pulls it back like, yeah, that's why Shanks is number one, though. And you forgot why you were arguing against him in the first place.
It's like, that's damn it, he cooked.
He pulls that out. Yeah.
That's how you win fights, man.
Yeah, you throw that sand. That's his sand move.
His pocket sand attack, yeah.
Yeah, that's a judge's
pocket sand. Pocket sand. I don't know what the fuck that was. Back to the chapter, we see that Shanks divulges information on the Mark of the Abyss, the Shallows Covenant, and he's like, yeah, as long as we're in... Oh, Shanks in Viz calls Emu that freak.
That's crazy.
What the hell is this?
The same moment.
We can't resist as long as we're in that freak's range. That freak. Interesting. Yeah, what does TCB call him?
Okay. TCB is way more. They don't say it again. It says Harold. It says Harold and I were both bound by the most shallow pact of the Holy Land to serve the individual they call the Great One. This is just a shallow sea contract, mind you. But even then, when we're in range, we can't defy their orders. So that's like cut and dry there. It continues, but that was TCB. Viz goes, Harold and I have signed the shallowest of the covenants with this Great One in Meridra, which that also it kind of sounds like he's glazing him there. Because in TCB, he goes, they call him the Great One. So, and then he continues in Viz. He says, even with just this Shallows covenant, this just sounds awkward. This is giving me JJK a little bit. Even with just this Shallows covenant, we can't resist as long as we're within that freak's range.
That freak just sounds off. Like, I feel like Shanks wouldn't say that.
Yeah, that sounds like Luffy.
Yeah, that freak. Huh.
Or like Sanji. Oh no, like Zoro. That sounds like it sounds like barbaric, you know what I mean? Like Shanks, I get it, it's not Mihawk, but like he's also not like a child, right? Like,
yeah.
I guess here he technically is younger, but he's not a kid, right? Like, that's interesting. I think TCB gets the W on this one.
Yeah, TCB gets the W. Guys. Viz calling Emu that freak. Maybe he does mean that, but I mean, it just feels off.
Not even Sabo said that. Not even
Sabo called Emu that freak.
Yeah, he said these hellish creatures.
That YouTube prankster. There's a clout chaser in the Holy Land. Huh, interesting.
Chris Hansen's behind there. That's is Stephen Paul like trying to is like the Epstein file release? Is that what's getting to him right now? Like, I can get that, like calling it that freak, but like,
yeah, he just read the Epstein files and he's like, freaks, huh?
Yeah, maybe. Those freaks on that weird island up there. But yeah, this is okay.
Interesting. All right. So we see that Harold realizes why he recognized Shanks, and that's because Shanks is from the red-haired pirates, which goes back to a couple chapters ago when they met in the Holy Land, and it was a big thing. It's like, dude, where is like Yasop, Ben Beckman, and everybody else right now? Like, what are they doing? I had somebody like come up and they were like, oh, like it doesn't actually matter. Like, why are you curious about this? So like, I mean, it's a genuine thing, right? Like, where are they? What are they up to? Like, Shanks is in the Holy Land for a prolonged period of time. Like, are they hanging out at a bar? Are they visiting family? Are they training? Like, I think it's just fun insight.
Yeah. It would be crazy if they were just sitting off the island and Shanks was like, don't come.
Yeah, imagine they're like just at Redport, like right outside the Holy Land, like hanging out with the civilians. Like, that could be it. And if that's the case, That'll be fun to see. I wouldn't mind
Yeah,
that.
they're just like every time they're yeah, I mean, like on Elbaf, for example, like they could just be at Ida's bar, drinking it up. Shank just leaves. And then like could he do the same? Like drop him off at Sabaody. Hey, Rayleigh or Shaki, take care of the boys. I'll be back. Where you going, Captain? For a swim. Just some random BS. I'm just gonna go enjoy the human auction market. You guys don't like that place, right, guys? All right, all right, all right. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
it's just,
Dude,
I don't know.
imagine he goes back downstairs. They're like, "Hey, Shanks, what's the best slave girl you saw up there?"
Yo, that'd be maybe honestly, that wouldn't be that crazy because then in the sense of like if Rayleigh's not there, where would he be? He's like, oh, I'm gonna go check for Rayleigh. You know what I mean? That could be plausible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So then, but the other half of it is like you can't Shanks, I feel like can't just like walk around.
Yeah, they're
Even
probably very antsy around him because he has a weird backstory.
Yeah, because like imagine that he goes to the auction house. There's other celestial dragons. Hey, Saint Shanks, what are you doing here? You trying to buy that fishman girl? You know what I mean? Or like
yeah, he sees like
weird.
He sees the women like, Shanks, I didn't know you like them.
Yeah, where's your helmet?
Dude, the celestial dragon banter must go so effing hard. You gotta admit.
Yeah. Like Shanks just starts like fake chugging. Yeah, where's my helmet? Can you get me one? Like Rosewall's just like, oh yeah, I'll get you the extra,
dude,
brother.
Imagine somebody bumps into Shanks and then just a civilian, and then a celestial dragon like Charlos like defends Shanks and just shoots the commoner. Like, Shanks, I got you. Don't worry.
Yeah. Didn't want your dad to see what happened here. This whole place would be leveled if he was here.
Yeah,
like something like that.
No, like they're doing favors for Garling. They're like, hey, tell Garling I looked out for you, buddy.
Yeah. Dude. I kind of want to see that. Like, I do want to see Shanks as a celestial dragon. Like, not celestial dragon. Like the part where he was like, oh, the last 20 just oh my god, it was so gross. The 24 years, I can't even get the words out of my mouth. I hate it. Like, I want to see that continued. I want to see that every single instant. Like, he sees everyone and he just has to make shit up all the time. I want to see the missions. I want to see, because it's implied that he had other missions, right? Like, he didn't do his last one. What were those like? What was Shanks doing on those? Like, the Choppermon spin-off anime. No,
was it Shamrock? Was it Summers? Come on.
Give me Film Shiny Red. Oh my god, Film Shiny Red would go hard. If the next movie is Shanks, another Shanks movie, but it's actually Shanks' time.
Dude.
Oh.
Like, this reminds me of, nobody really will get the reference. There's a popular series in Japan, and I really enjoy it. It's called Kaiji. And it's about a guy who goes gambling, and he fights this, like, giant shadow organization, and blah, blah, blah. But there's a spin-off of Kaiji where instead of following the main character, you follow the villains, and you just see their daily lives. And they're very normal guys. Like, they're hanging out, doing bad things. And it's like, dude, if we had that for, like, the Gorse and the Celestial Dragons, the PR would go nuts. Like, here's Saint Saturn, and he's smiling with the boys at the auction house.
We see him in his lab, Saturn's laboratory. Like it's Dexter's lab, but Saturn. He's actually cracked. Like, I have to apologize. He's doing some nut stuff, but like, yeah. Honestly, if the next movie was something like this, it would be kind of cool. Like, it would kind of be cool. And it wouldn't be weird to do it since we covered it in the thing, right? Like,
speaking of the Holy Land, I believe at Jump Festa, they also revealed Oda's sketch of the Holy Land. The first ever sketch, yes.
Who posted this?
Sandman, I believe. And we see that the Holy Land up there, Oda's still designing it, but we have on the right side the City of Celestial Dragons. And then we have like a river that runs through the red line, and there's like a moat, like a kind of like a moat around Pangaea Castle. And then behind Pangaea Castle is a named area. We've never seen it before. It's called the Red Desert.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Interesting.
we do not see Shungara on this drawing of the city, but it is a rough concept. So, I mean, Oda's probably still working it out. But yeah, City of Celestial
Yeah.
Dragons, River, Pangea Castle, and then the Red Desert with an arrow pointing to the left. So it looks like we're about to get a lot of things fleshed out about the Holy Land. It sounds like we might be going there next. Oda's, he's in that concept phase, man. He's cooking it up.
Wait, did you say this emu one? Did I just like ignore you completely?
No, so
The following
there's
two
another
male
thing.
sketches.
Yes, there's another thing where Oda drew two very rough sketches of a character. You can't. Sorry, if you want to see it, go to Sandman AP on Twitter. If you're in the One Piece, I mean, if you're watching this video, you probably know who that is. Oda, yeah, Par has it right behind him. That is a potential sketch of Emu. Pull up the other one. There we go. Yes, they're saying that this
See if I can
could
blow it up.
potentially be Emu because this character is seen talking about the crimes of a woman, most notably Lily, Alabaster's sin. So there's a chance that this is
Interesting.
Emu's human design, which is massive.
Someone responded, neither of those look like males. And then Sandman goes, really?
I think they both could be male. I think both of them look very male-ish.
I mean, the one on the left looks like
questionable.
Garland.
The second one is questionable, but the first one for sure male.
The first one looks like Garling, but you know,
yeah,
it just kind of looks like a Shanks. I mean, to be fair, guys, we like the first one doesn't have a mouth, it doesn't have a chin, like, and then the
yeah,
second
like this
one
is like very like last minute sketch. Like you could probably do this in like I think 30 seconds top. It's like,
yeah,
just draw this up, call it a
This
day.
second one is like, honestly, this could just like there could be two heads here. Honestly, it looks like Oda could just start at a second one. That would be kind of cool. Not gonna lie.
Yeah,
The way it feels is kind of this one giving me Jetsons a little bit. Current Garling also gives me a little bit Jetsons. I don't know why. Is it the hair or maybe I don't know, but something Jetsons related.
something Jetsons related.
Yeah, very interesting. But apparently, it all culminates to that freak, according to the officials.
Freak of a thing. Which, I mean, honestly, when you look at those two pictures, it does kind of give off like magician vibes. I could see it.
Imagine I responded to Sandman and that person like, actually, they both look like freaks, and they're just like put in Stephen Paul's
Stephen
translation.
Paul, yeah, put his initials right there. So back to the chapter. We see the powers that the God Knights get. They have superhuman strength, undying body, and they have the ability to generate an abyss circle. So that means that they can travel long distances. And it's funny that Oda draws a picture of St. Somers with his hand cut off, because that's kind of what Scopper does to him current day, which does remind us of, the Scopper-Somers matchup. Since Shanks is explaining this to Scopper, it makes it seem like Scopper has never really fought Somers before.
Yeah.
Which makes you wonder, like, okay, when did they first meet? In my mind, so my headcanon right now, a theory I'm kind of playing with, is that after King Harold dies, Somers and Shamrock shows up. And maybe they fight here in the throne room.
It could not. It can't be. It can't be.
Why not?
Because what's Somers said.
Yeah,
Scopper,
like,
what are you doing here?
Yeah.
He said specifically, what are you doing here? What are you doing on Elbaf, I think.
But then if that's the case, then it kind of makes you wonder, it's like, where else could they have met?
It could just be that, like, he's referencing God Valley. You know what I mean? Like, was he fighting him directly? No, but he was pretty close to him, right? Because Scopper and like the difference between where Scopper and Rayleigh was just a leap, right? Like Somers was trying to get the situation done quickly because the Roger Pirates were converging on him, and then he obviously didn't get done too quickly, and the only difference is like he was just a spitting distance away, you know?
Yeah.
Essentially. So I could just see it being that. I think my interest in this conversation is the part of the familiarity of the powers, because like clearly they didn't confront this at God Valley. That was their time to like understand what Shanks is explaining. But if post God Valley, they never experienced these guys. They like one hit here and there. Most of the context of their God Valleys, speaking about Rayleigh and Scopper, was other pirates, right? Like Rayleigh hit a guy, and that guy went through the wall and never came back. And so like they never really got a chance to even recognize that, like, oh shit, my hit didn't do anything to him. That's kind of absurd. Which, you know, not glazing Sommers, but that would be kind of if I was Rayleigh and I was Himothy and I went full Himothy on some dude and he was scratchless, I would be like, what? What just happened here? And so you go all those years later, and then you have your little Kohai here explaining to you, like, wait, oh, but you still, he's not explaining the weakness, right? That's what I want from Shanks. Like, my thing is, like, that's good and dandy, Shanks. But what do you know? How do we, Shanks? Like, explain. And I'm imagining that's what's going to come, like, next. Because, like, they're about to fight, you know, what he's explaining right now. And to me, what it looks like per this conversation, which this conversation makes Shanks one of my favorite characters as a person, because I feel like I would like Shanks if he's playing League of Legends, because he was playtesting the Abyss mark. He was like, yeah, it has a range. There's an indicator mark. Like, he's straight up, yeah, like, I don't know if all of them know about, like, all of these intricacies, right? Like, yeah, maybe they know about range, the difference between thing, but do they know how far the range is, right? It seems like Shanks really, like, chose the island where he's at in the East Blue. I imagine that was specific because it's like, yeah, Emu doesn't leave the castle, so I'm good here. And we can talk freely out here. And they also know that because Shanks left and spoke to Harold outside of the range when they were able to. That's like... So those are my favorite characters in, like, spy movies and all those things where there's that one guy who went infiltrated, did all the hard shit,
gets
make
in the
it easier for everyone else. Yeah. And so he's gonna give us the 100% next chapter. Scopper's like, damn, they really are undying, huh? This is crazy. Harold and not dying? That's kind of not fair. It's a little OP. It needs to be patched, Shanks. He's like, the reason why it's not patched is because I know the secret. And then he's going to tell us what Chopper was thirsting for. Jumped off like 20,000 kilometers just to figure out. Shanks is going to let us know. Shanks has the answer. I pray. I hope he's not like Scopper or any of these shonen hooligans. Please,
nah,
Shanks,
dude. The amount of love Oda has for Shanks, it's on a different level. Shanks is gonna be omnipotent. Like, imagine there's a panel where Shanks, he looks at us, and he's like, Oda, give me another power up. He breaks the fourth wall, and Oda just does it. And then all of a sudden, we see Shanks as like another arm. It's like, whoa, he's growing it back. Of course, in the future.
Yeah, we see Shanks. He looks at the thing, and he's holding 3 fingers over his scars, and then the 4th finger goes up, and then we see a 4th scar show up, and then that's Shanks on seen true Yonko Shanks. That's 4. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's that'd be Oda. The thing is, Oda said, like, oh yeah, I was memeing with Luffy in Gear 5, but I did it on purpose because but he wouldn't do that with Shanks. He's like, nah, we going hard in the paint with Shanks. Shanks is his Goku. That's what, at the end of the day, what it is.
He loves Shanks so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just how the cookie crumbles, brother. I mean, everybody has favorites, right? Like, it's just, I think that's normal. Like, it might seem like we're slandering it, but we're really not.
Shanks is a good favorite to have. I'd make him Goku.
Yeah. I could see that. You seem like the type of guy.
Yeah.
So we see that crazy black hockey lightning is coming from the castle. And we see that comes from potentially the clash between Harold and Loki. Loki is confused. He's like, what do I do here? You're healing. Explain yourself, Harold. And that is when Harold drops everything, saying, guys, I made a terrible mistake. Loki, do exactly what I say. I want you to tell the people of Elbaf exactly what happened here. That I killed my own guards. That I used joining the world government as an excuse to do dirty biddings. Ultimately, they lied to me, and look at me now. I am about to hand over our people of Elbaf to the government to be their slaves in battle. And then Loki says, what do you mean they tricked you? Which, kind of my reaction. I know he doesn't mean it like that. But in my mind, I was like, Harold, they're not really tricking you. They're not betraying you. Like, it was obvious what they wanted. It's just that Harold was blindsided by optimism. Or Harold was blinded by his own optimism is what it was. But Harold says they had no intention of honoring my request. And then he says...
a terrible response.
Yeah, not a great response in my opinion. Like I said, it's just one of those things, like, they really wanted you for your strength. They talked about giants being a tool. Like, brother, it's obvious that they wanted Elbaf to be a militarized nation. Like, I think the only person shocked is just Harold. Like, you put anybody else in the situation, they're like, yes, make Elbaf a militarized nation. They're like, oh yeah, I can see this coming, yeah. I mean, we were ramping up to this. Like, what did he expect, man?
It's funny because in the Viz it doesn't make sense. The translation, I know that's harsh. The reason why I say that is because the Viz translated. Okay. I'll read the TCB. TCB said the very beginning. I'm not gonna read the whole thing because obviously a lot. So I just read it. But in TCB, Harold says, "Spread the word about how I was tricked," and then. Right after that, in response, what do you mean? How are you tricked? Whereas the Viz goes, ultimately, this is what Harold says, ultimately they lied to me and look at me now. And that is a significant difference because, you know, being on your deathbed and the entire dialogue being an acceptance of what reality was is like kind of, you know, the redeeming part, like when a character pisses you off and at least they see the truth now, it's like great. But to be when we reacting is like tricked, what do you mean tricked? It is obviously pissing me off. This one, if I had read they lied to me, then I'm like, okay, yeah, all right, you're accepting they lied to you, you took the lie, but they didn't change this part here of the Loki's where he goes ultimately lied to me, and then they still have Loki say, what do you mean they tricked you? And it's like weird because in the Viz, there's no tricked word ever, I don't think. Unless I'm like missing it earlier on, but I didn't see it. So he's just like, what do you mean they tricked you? He's like, wait, hold on. I never said they tricked me. I said they lied to me.
Yeah.
And that kind of does fit with the part afterwards. They never had any intention of honoring my request. So it sounds less abrasive than when someone asks you, what do you mean they tricked you? It's like, well, actually, son, they wasn't really a trick, to be honest. Like, and it's like, oh, so you're just stupid. And then, but in this one, it's like, no, they lied to me. They never had any intention of honoring my request. And Loki's line is now weird because it's like, tricked? Well, no one really said that. You're putting words in my mouth, son. I know I'm shitty. I'm not that shitty. Like,
come on.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, like you were saying, there's no trickery really.
And they were going to uphold the deal. Elbaf was going to be a member nation.
Yeah.
The thing is that Harold never outright said, oh, I want to demilitarize Elbaf. And then the elders never said, oh, yeah, of course. Harold just assumed that was going to be the case. He never outright asked. And if he did, we didn't see it.
Also makes no sense either because like it was in this flashback that Garp and Sengoku were giving us the conversation that there's like tens of millions of soldiers across every nation that's a member of it's not just the Navy, it's not just the world government, every nation or most nations at least accumulate to like millions upon millions of soldiers. And so, like, and then the scope was that Sengoku's like, I want to be at the top to help lead that, and Garp was like, I want to be at the bottom to help make sure people don't fall off. And and then you have Harold be like, I want no part of it, even though all of you are a part of it, and I'm a part of it, even before I join. And it's like, wait, hold on. Yeah, Harold, I need you to understand, a part of everyone's agreement is just keep. Like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, defend yourself. What do you like? Well, what are we raising trees? Like, you got to
Yeah.
defend yourself. That's
And it
crazy.
goes back to the whole
It's
thing about like we talked about this last week. Like, okay, Elbaf, they are demilitarizing. People are not learning how to fight anymore. And that sounds good on paper, but I mean, like, are they losing something in the process? You know, that's a big question people have. And it's like, yeah, I
yeah.
don't.
I mean,
That's a good question, man.
here's the thing too. Like Harold's people are commenting on me saying like stupidity and being dumb are harsh. I'm keeping that. He recognizes in his own things he's literally regretting the last 100 years of his life. I don't know what you guys call that, but hey, if I personally regretted the last 100 years of my life, I would call myself stupid too. Okay, like if there was
Doesn't mean we hate
the
Harold, by
hundred,
the way. Like, I still love
yeah, yeah.
Harold. I think he's a
I
great
think
character. He's flawed in that sense. And I do respect Harold a lot more than I respect Odin. But it's just like, okay, Harold, come on, man. Like, this is, dude,
and
like,
that's
you should
a
have seen this coming, brother. Like, that, I think that's why I'm so, like, heartbroken by this. It's like, Harold, you are such a great guy. I cannot believe you're oblivious to this, man.
Yeah, even Odin, who had like the lack of a leader kind of demeanor, right? Like he had to grow into it. The responsibilities, everything were foreign to him. He just wanted to leave. He wanted to dive into the ocean head first. Didn't matter who, didn't matter where, didn't matter how. First ship, I'm out, right? And the whole point of his thing was it's like you have to, there's some responsibility, you have to act, you have to do stuff, and then he's encumbered by this like overarching prophecy and he doesn't know what to do. And so he forewent acting until he was personally slighted, and then also on top of it it was when obviously he realized that he was betrayed. But in Harold's situation, what as a leader, what he has to recognize, and like the person was bringing this up too, it's like any nation would do this. It's like no, not even in our world is this a thing. They were bringing like the UN and NATO. It's like countries would do anything to join. I was like, not give up. We literally did that to Japan as a punishment, and we still let them have a defense force. Like that makes no sense. To like, you can't have police, you can't have anything. Like no, you had to have something. And the other part of it is, don't even look at that. Look at One Piece. Harold wanted the punishment that Wano got. Wano got demilitarized because Kaido didn't want them to be able to defend themselves, stand up for themselves. And alongside that, that took away their culture, that took away like their unity, that took away their identity. Everything got lost in the last 20 years to the point that like Zoro lands there and he's the most Wano-nese person because Shimotsuki village raised him more Wano than than anyone on Wano in the last 20 years. And that punishment that Kaido subjected them as an oppressive force is something that Emu didn't even want for Elbaf. Harold wanted. And when you recognize that on the outside, even objectively, Harold was unironically doing the max punishment that Kaido did to Wano on his own and somehow sold it as a good thing is like no, there's dissonance. You had 100 years to cook, you know what I mean? Like there's even then Wano had 20 years and it's like they were like, yeah, this shit's bad. Like there's no, yeah, even when you think about it, like you could also look at Wano, they were already isolated, but like let's say that they weren't. One of the things that they could have saw was like, hey, we don't have to defend ourselves anymore. Kaido's got us. You know what I mean? That would be
Yeah.
something that people would do. But it's not that they're not getting rid of the military force. They're just substituting it, right? And the military force is there, And so it's like there's a lot of levels to what, Harold wanted and why it didn't make sense. But and the reason why I'm going on about it is because I'm kind of confused about why it kept going, and we don't have to get into all of that, but like given what Harold said and where Loki stands and the circumstances around it and the people surrounding them, I know we talked about it on stream. That's the part we don't need to really like dive into too heavily here, but there is like a question mark too because it's like the Holy Knights come here and they're like, God damn it, these schools! Burn down the library. It's like, wait, wait, Emu, you knew that this is what Harold wanted, and like you didn't like you were there, and in this chapter, we saw how easy it was for you to turn on autopilot, but like you kind of just like left this place to hang. And especially after God Valley, when Emu was like, "Yeah, no, I got this prem of the crop brewing," and it's like, you didn't tend to the crops, brother. What's happening? You know what I mean? Like it's kind of interesting where Elbaf is currently. I really want to see. I think it's gonna be the next two chapters, I imagine, or three probably in the second or third chapter we get this information. But yeah, I want to see how the Elbaf like justifies it. It is kind of jarring, right? Like
Oh
Usopp and
yeah.
Luffy is like, yeah, this place is lame.
Yeah, even Usopp was like, yeah, it sucks, but I mean, I guess, peace is good. It's just one of those things, like, peace is good in the real world, but in the world of One Piece, you don't want to be defenseless. Like, it's not like the real world where sometimes you don't have to, like, worry about self-defense or blah, blah, depending on where you live. But in the world of
Yeah.
One Piece, brother, there's so many people with powers. Like, what the hell? No, dude, learn how to
Yeah.
fight.
And the other thing was, yeah, so you said the very specific thing. Some people don't need to defend themselves because circumstantially their population or land size, it's like, yeah, we're not gonna wage war onto like a Nepal or like no one's gonna go
Poland.
out
Nobody's
there
gonna fight Poland.
in okay, well, some people okay, that's everyone. But like,
Good
even if
catch.
America got invaded, it's like they're not gonna go after Rhode Island. They might skip it. You know what I mean? Just for
Nobody's gonna
Family
go
Guy's
after
sake.
Oklahoma.
No, you guys are in the nuclear range, so like you guys are cooked.
I think
Like,
Yellowstone
we
cooks
keep
us
our
too.
yeah, yeah. Well, the that area above you has all the nukes, so they would want the straight up and down from Canada to Mexico. You were in that line, sorry,
Damn
brother.
it.
Um, yeah. But so they said that to me about the like, yeah, countries would give up their thing. It's like Elbaf would be like the equivalent of Russia and China combined. Like in the One Piece world, they are sovereign and they don't even know it. And they've been sovereign against the world government for the last 100 years because they've been smearing the king they've been doing the propaganda at him, and they're so independent that the world government hasn't been able to do that with the 10 million soldiers or whatever. Now you're telling me that imagine a world where Russia and China gives up their nukes, give up their standing army. That's now explain that to me, guy. Not no NATO, no UN, no unification of the earth. Would we ever see a world where China and Russia, or even mix America and anything? Unfathomable. That's what Elbaf is. Elbaf is a world power. Harold is just like, yeah, nah, we good. Like my
We're
son can
fine.
be the one world power. Like it's like no. And the saddest part is in this chapter, the second strongest person who's capable of stopping Harold, or second and third, aren't even giants. And it might not, okay, I might not even be playing this correctly because like I'm calculating like Ragnir and Devil Fruit into it. But like Loki is the only one who's like Shanks, Scopper, S thing. The other strong people on this island aren't giants. You have two people who landed on your island that can no diff everybody. Harold. Like, and that's not uncommon. That's why it's so crazy to me, like you said, in the One Piece world, to demilitarize when, like, had Harold been 45 and he's dog walking every single person he's seen, that mentality makes sense. He met Rocks. Rocks has an island of people similar to him, Whitebeard, other people. There's an entire planet, Harold. You're telling me you don't think that more of evil people like that don't exist? Well, let me tell you, there's two on your island that if they just all of a sudden hated giants, they could kill you. I fully believe that like Scopper and Shanks teamed up, they could probably take on Harold. Like I don't think that's a weird thing to say. And that's the weird part where he thinks that giants are just like this unstoppable force. And to a certain extent, the One Piece world holds it that. I get why the world government, but like you know, Kaido entertained it. Kaido was like, yo, Rox, why don't we just go there and kill everybody? And Rox is like, nah, they're my friends. That's what stopped it. It was they were friends, not because they couldn't. You know what I mean? Like, that's a
Imagine
scary
going there
predicament.
and you're like, oh, we're gonna fight Elbaf, the warrior nation, and then you just see schools and kids running around and butterflies. It's like, wait, what? Huh?
Yeah, yeah. And the strongest of them all is this geriatric beard guy who just gets a sword stuck in him and forgets like the most important moments of his life. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to say. And the other strongest guy is tied to a tree. Like, and he can't get out. Oh god. I would
Yeah.
almost say the third strongest thing is his hammer. Like, or the second strongest thing.
Now that we have this big reveal that Harold wants to be known as a loser, essentially, do you think the reason why Loki is imprisoned and nobody knows the real truth of what happened here, despite Jarl being conscious, despite Loki knowing everything, despite Shanks and Gabon being here, is because they want to protect Harold's honor? Is that what's happening?
Uh it, I'm still interested on Loki's. I like uh we talked about it, like whether I think our assessments all hinged on the question mark of what how does Loki perceive his dad? Is he will it be the type to just listen to him and take the lead and whatever, or desire to do that, or does he want to preserve the thing? And but I ultimately think that the decision is his. I don't think that there's a scenario where the others like Shanks, Scopper, or Yarul are the ones who decide it. And in that case, like I can see him do that. It's just weird with like where he's at the tree, because at the tree he doesn't want to be tied there. And we know that he went out sailing like on the ocean, and Shanks was the one. Right, do we someone was it Saeed told us like, oh, it says like in that chapter that like all of Elbap pinned him down. Did we ever verify that one? Remember that was like
I don't
something we were talking
know
about
if
and
we
we just didn't
verified
like.
it. I think it was like a
Yeah,
line where like, yeah, it took all of Elbaf to bring him down or something.
yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
thinking
something like that.
too. So yeah, the essentially the whole thing here is the circumstance around right after this, right? Like I could see, for example, like he's like, okay, uh blame it on me. I'll take the thing and I'm gonna leave. Um and I won't come back, right? But the two issues there for me is that Loki loves Elbaf and he's super nationalistic, and he hate like walking into this room, for example, he was telling Yarl that the future is so scuffed underneath his dad's rulership and they need to change it. And Yarl, whether or not he agrees with him, he at least said he believes that the young should rule, the young should lead. And what we see in current Elbaf is Jarl's not in that leadership position, and there's no one really taking a position there. So if Jarl's in on it, then it could be that, yeah, Loki was chosen effectively as the king. But then the circumstance would be like, why would it be that he's against his will, chained to the tree, completely defenseless also too? Like it's one thing to be like you know, like a prisoner of a nation. I don't know how to describe it, but there's like someone who's a respected prisoner and someone who's not. And obviously he wouldn't be respected, but if the leader knows, or like one of the elders knows that you are not like that and you are justified, I don't know if they leave you defenseless the way he was, right? Like the Holy Knights, in exactly what I was saying. It's like two people could show up to Elbaf and just cook all of it, and that's what happened. They showed up, and the greatest warrior there was tied up, and he survived fine. But like he's now like Gerd, according to the doctor here, said that he's not going to be good for months. So like that's where I'm also another aspect of it that all that kind of like that I feel like we're missing like a very significant piece, an angle, or person. Like someone comes in or someone does something. I don't even know, but I feel like there was something missing. And the one thing that you said that, no, not the one thing, but one thing that you did say that was like makes the end part make sense is like if Loki set sail and he was dead set on taking down the world government unilaterally, like a brain dead, like no thought put into it, then I could see Shanks restraining him because he's like, hey, you can't fight them yet. You know what I mean? Like we've seen that, like Kuma did that with Luffy, technically, right? Like he's like, hey, you're not ready for the new world yet. Take 2 years off, right? Like, but the difference with that one is like, I don't even know if Loki would be that knuckleheaded. Like he hasn't shown to be like Luffy like that yet. He seems like a good, like, yeah, like the alcohol village, but not everyone is his mom. And that one was also, the alcohol village was there that entire time. And what set him off was the Ida poisoning thing, right? Like there was levels to that, and it doesn't exist outside of that besides the Harold thing. But like I don't see it like festering for like 6-7 years where he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna constantly run my head into them like Laboon. Like he's not a whale, you know what I mean? Like he's Loki, the next king of Elbaf, who like,
and I mean, he's been out for 8
years
too. So I mean, I feel like if he really was just gonna ooga booga the Holy Land, it would have been like year 1. So I think there's a chance that maybe he was trying to get stronger. Maybe he was trying to find Galley Law because Rox did describe to him like, hey, I wanted to find these giants and Harold's going to rule over them. Maybe he's like, oh, I should try to find them too. And that's why it's like 8 years out at sea and there's no real progress to our knowledge. As far as like the whole thing about him being left defenseless despite Jarl knowing the truth, there's a chance that Loki just asked for it. Like, hey, just put me down here. Like, if you give me treatment, they'll know something's up or blah, blah, blah. Like, I think that could be explained away. Like you said, I think there's ways to explain all of it to make it make sense. And we're probably going to get that next chapter.
Part was one.
And then the elders, too. Sorry, one more thing. But the elders, we don't know, like, what their role is in it. Like, what if they did want to tell the truth to Elbaf, but the elders are like, no, you're not going to do that.
Kill them.
Kill them. No, Harold was not a fool. Like, maybe that's
like, we have, 100+ dead Kingsguard, who's 4 more, like, old dudes there, they just walked in at a bad time. They could be really strong.
They could be like the Zero Squad out of Bleach.
I hope. Where are they, bro? Could you imagine if they were like that and they could, not single-handedly, but single-groupedly take down Harold in this state?
No,
they
not
have
even
some
just
kind
Harold.
of, like...
They could probably take down Emu with a single finger.
Dude, I'd love to see it. There's certain things with Elbaf. We're so deep into Elbaf that things like that do kind of bother me. Like the elder part is like, come on, guys. Oda, I went through 100 years of Elbaf to see one silhouette, and you're telling me on Ida's deathbed, they're marred as one of the reasons as to why Harold has to make one of the silliest decisions and paths for his kingdom because he couldn't get married to the wife, even though that wasn't the reason why he couldn't. You were on a goddamn ship most of those 100 years. You could have just taken her like you did at the beginning. Point is that those elders have been attributed to way too much, and it makes no sense. Now, like, even, why didn't Yarul, when he's talking about the Gali Law, be like, yeah, Harold, you should really talk to the elders. They know a lot about it. It's like, at this point, Yarl knows more than them. Loki has better decision making, and like the elders are just like, what do they just do?
They're like the Oniwa bro.
Yeah, but like,
they're like the Yakuza leaders of Wano. Like, who are these dudes?
The Oniwa Banshu, for what they were good. Outside of Wano, their ass. They had magic spells. They didn't have devil fruits. For what they were doing,
they're
good.
Magic spells, yeah, cool. But hear me out. It was so ineffective in a fight that they might as well just be party tricks. That's like saying I'm a magician because I can like hide a card behind your ear.
No, he was out there doing like the
who
leader
did they
guy
fight
was like,
that was significant. Who did they beat that was actually significant though?
The main guy. He was cooking ass, bro. He had those earlobes. Yeah, dude, those earlobes were nuts.
I don't know if that's magic though. That's just earlobe magic.
No, I mean it's the same thing that CP9 was doing, but he did it all on his own. He figured it out.
I mean, it's funny that like to see the characters that you die on a hill for, Beauregard and Fukurokuju. That's just
I'm not dying on any hills. I'm just saying that they are
like these are the characters that you swing for.
and they make way more sense. If you want to swing for the elders, go for it. I don't know.
I'd rather swing for the Elbaf elders than Fukurokuju and Bogard.
Really, after the Gorosei, seems like a bad bet to make. Oda hates old people like that. Like, the fuck? Like,
dude, you know what'd be so funny? If the elders were, like, cosplaying the Gorosei. Like, imagine we go up there, and it's, like, not Saint Saturn, but...
It's, like, the Morrow Blacks of the Gorosei.
Saint Tattered. Instead of V Nasujuro, it's B Nasuhuro. Like, we get, like, Elbaf variants of the Gorosei. That would be so fucking fire. Let's be real.
If there's 4 of them only, I could see them being wolves or jaguars. It might be wolves.
Wolves or jaguars? Oh, you think they're going to be like the Shandorans where they have, like, the ugly suits on?
No. Well, I mean, they could, but, well, because, like, what you said kind of sparked an idea. Because, like, if it's celestial, which they do have a celestial realm, then in Norse mythology or Norse astronomy, the way when the sun rose, there were sun dogs, and the sun dogs would chase the sun, and so they would always home in on the sun. So in that regard, they would always be there. They would never touch it, but they'd always circle around it. And so, like, there's a certain level of, like, I don't know what the mythological attribution to wolves, Fenrir being a pretty dope one, but that would be an interesting thing, because that actually works in a different way, like you said, Shandora. But yeah, it wouldn't be wild for them to have, like, a celestial, celestial rank of, like, living, right? I mean, and not to bring up Shandora, but they do have the gods, right? Like the Yami, like the multiple of them. So then celestial dragons have the Gorosei were planets, the celestial bodies, and then if Elbaf had, like, their version of it from the days of Nika, then it would be like the sun dogs or something like that.
One thing would be cool is if they all specialize in a different weapon. Because, Elbaf is a land of war. Like, oh my god, the god of the sword, the god of the shield, the god of the spear, the god of the bow.
If they...
And they're, like,
I don't even know what I want
cracked.
No, because it doesn't make sense if they're cracked.
Why not?
Elbaf was half on fire. 3 people ran amok.
No, dude, it's gonna be like Bleach, man. It's gonna be like the Zero Squad, where it's like they could just single-handedly beat Aizen, but they're like, oh, like, why didn't you save the Soul Society? We were in trouble. So many people died. And they're like, man, that's your problem, dude. We're up here. We're doing our own thing. If you can't handle it, then you lost.
So the subjugation of the king of Elbaf by a foreign entity.
What if they look at it? They're like, yeah, Elbaf lost the king, but I mean, the gods are still here, and they're, like, pointing at themselves. Like, that's all that really matters.
Yeah, imagine Gunko or Imko is like, Dory Brogi, take out the real king, Yarul. And then you just hear 4 distinct thunderous laughters. Ha 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 ha. You think he's the king? And then, like, Dorian Brogi, when they said god of Elbaf, they were actually meaning, like, the elders. Oh no, that'd actually be wild if Dorian Brogi didn't go to Yarul and just started climbing the tree, and he was like, where are you guys going? And it's like, the gods, you told us to take out the leader, right? And it's like, yeah, the leader's a Yarul, right? It's like, there's another level. Have you been to the 3rd floor? Emu, there's another layer up there. What? Nani? And then Emu goes up there, gets his ass cooked. That'd be crazy. You find out the elders of the last 4.
What if Emu recognizes them too? He's like, no, they're still alive.
We find out that when Oda said that Laugh Tales next year, it's because it's on the sun realm or the celestial realm, the astral plane, right? That's what it's called.
It's just the heaven realm.
Heaven realm, yeah. I didn't get.
You gave it so many, like, crazy ass names: the celestial realm, the astral realm, the universal dimension. How crazy are we getting with this fucking realm, dude? It's just the heaven realm, man. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because Evo's never been to heaven, only stayed in hell. Ooh.
Oh my god.
That's a good one.
I can't wait till they go up to the 7-Eleven realm next chapter. Shit's crazy. But I mean, Oda kind of
where did that
based off the Jump Festa message, it sounds like we're ending Elbaf soon. It doesn't sound like there's too much left.
I can't be mad at the 7-Eleven thing because in Japan it's respected. No, but in Japan it's still owned by brown people, I think, too.
Yeah, dude, there's so many Indians in Japan that work at 7-Eleven. Yeah, it's crazy how your people like took over that shit, bro.
Yeah, my people famously.
Your people. Yeah, and they know good Japanese, by the way. Like, the Indians in Japan, my God, they're cooking with that Japanese.
Fun fact, the ones in my city are owned by my people, not Indian.
Yeah, I mean, nearby in my local neighborhood, they are owned by your people too, man. They're universal. Yeah. It's kind of like how, nail salons are owned by Asians. It's like, it's just a thing. It's in our blood, dude. It's like how Giants just are always violent. We just always have nail salons and 7-Elevens, brother. We can't escape it.
Nah, your Asians don't got nail salons.
Yeah, my Asians.
Come on.
They're still technically my country is still a third world country, which is so funny. I love that. I was watching I'm watching Prison Break right now, and I forgot. But they were talking about like taking over a small country that's like easily influenced, and they mentioned Laos. They chose they chose Laos, and I was dying, dude. I forgot about that. They're like hitting us with inflation so that all of our people would starve, and I'm like, yeah, sounds about right, dude. I'm not even mad at it. Yeah, fair enough.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I take it on the, it's like one of those things. I mean, they're not wrong, dude. Laos is so underdeveloped.
We got a representation, and it's
not mainly because it's treated as a war zone. Like whenever they tried to like develop back in the past, they just get cooked by like all sides, and it's like, it's a bad location, man. I should have moved. What can I say? It's their fault. Should have done something about that.
I mean,
they always pick like the losing teams or just no side whatsoever, and they just get destroyed. It's like, sorry, Laos, that's skill diff.
Yeah, I don't know the history enough. I gotta talk to some of the prime ministers.
Yeah, talk to the prime ministers. Yeah. Talk to them on their one computer that they own over there in Laos.
Yeah. Maybe I got a direct line. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe if you like pick up the nearest tin can, you'll be able to communicate with them.
yeah, it's gonna be Mosa.
Yeah. they just got canned tin technology the other year. Shout out to my people, man.
Shell. We got the 8-ball in the conch shell.
So Harold mentions the legendary devil fruit and how Loki needs to eat it because that's the only way to really defeat him. And then after that, Harold gets fully taken over, and he's like, you know what? That fruit is mine, actually. I'm eating that. Jarl says, no, Harold, if you do it, then, you're going to destroy the world. And then Harold's like, ha. Here's that legendary sword back, Jarl. You gave it to me a long time ago, but it's yours again. And then he throws it at Jarl. And it's pretty crazy stuff, man. Return to sender 100%. And it makes you wonder, like, is that a Meito? Like the blade that's in Jarl's head? He called it legendary sword. It could genuinely be a Meito, like, supreme grade blade.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at this point if we just... Was it Fujitora's one?
Yeah, Fujitora right? has one. That is the most recent one.
Which is, like, wild that we found out, like, a decade after his arc. You know what I mean? Like...
Wait, Viz does not say legendary sword. What the... They're downplaying the sword, which it's funny because like not just TCB, but other translations I read also said legendary blade. But Viz removed legendary. They just said sword.
You gave me that blade years ago, Yaru.
Damn.
Maybe the word has an implied like sentiment. Maybe that's why it's legendary. I don't know.
Maybe.
That doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
Or maybe it's to differentiate it from the Meito, like you're saying.
Or maybe Stephen Paul doesn't like swordsmen. Maybe he's like a hockey man enjoyer.
Another translational thing that was interesting, I want to read this out. TCB, so the ones people are most familiar with, is Harold goes, I am the worst king in the history of Elbaf. You must kill me and take the throne, Loki. Let Elbaf know what a disgrace of a king I was. Kill me and elevate yourself as a hero. I don't care about how I'm remembered. That's not important. The only thing that matters is securing Elbaf's future. Don't you see? And then in the Viz, he goes, that makes me the worst king in the history of Elbaf. So you must kill me to take the throne, Loki. Tell the people what a fool of a king I was. Kill me and be a hero. Once I'm dead, my reputation means nothing to me. Yeah, because you're dead. But also, he says, all that matters is Elbaf's future. Am I wrong? Like, the am I wrong was a very awkward way to end it. Like, the other one sounds like inspiring. Like, Loki, don't you see this is the only way for Elbaf's future? This one's like, am I wrong? Like, I don't even.
Yeah,
Like,
hey, tell me, man. Am I cooking or am I not cooking? I
like
love
all
that.
this shouting, it's like, wait, no, am I? Yeah, it's like, is this weird? And then Loki goes, "You really do all this for dot dot dot?" And it's like, huh? Please, Loki, you're the only one who can do it. I'm counting on you, Loki. You're the only one who can make things right. Huh? I think the Viz TCB was a bit better there, but I like it all plays out to like the emotions. That's why I want to double read it. Was like the whole part. It was like, will he go along with the words? Like saying the "Am I wrong" here? Um, that does sound a little bit more like opening. It's like, yeah, father, you were wrong. We're gonna maintain your legacy. You are kind of stupid. Everything you did was stupid, including this last monologue you had. We're just gonna ignore it. You were wrong. Like in a funny way, it does make sense. In a serious way, it could also fit a little bit better. But I just feel like um, the nuance of it is more like that wasn't like a am I wrong, Loki? I really want your input here. It's like, no, I don't you see that this is the only way at this current moment? If I'm dying, you have to be king. You have to kill me. There's no other way. You don't know magic, son. Like that's what it is. You're not Harry Potter. Like, um, but yeah, going to the sword part. I think a lot of this is pretty interesting. I want to see the Ragnir part, like where he says,
Yeah, it's a
uh,
little bit further down, but King Harold says, I'll eat the fruit and take Ragnir for myself. And this right here
right,
is why people are saying that Ragnir and the fruit are separate. But my argument against that, which, my thing is that I'm pretty open ended. I do kind of err more towards Ragnir eating the legendary fruit, but I'm okay with the opposite. But the reason why I don't think this instantly dismisses the Ragnir eating the fruit theory, even though Harold separates the two, is because Ragnir could just straight up be a legendary hammer in and of itself, and then it also ate the fruit, and Harold just doesn't know. That's where I'm at.
and
Like,
he
that is very possible. It's like, my example is you put a sword and a fruit in a room, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to pick up my sword and eat the fruit. And then you go in there, it's like, oh, the sword ate the fruit. What the hell? Like,
it's not the weirdest
yeah,
thing.
it's not the weirdest thing.
Yeah, like Momo kind of would be like that. Like the fruit was just kind of sitting there. How did Momo even know how to get there and all that stuff? And he was hungry and he broke the glass to eat that thing. Like, there's a certain level of sentience that we can't really put on paper. But the version that Sai has, I think, in my opinion, I err for it mainly because that would explain why Oda wouldn't explain it in Egghead. Because that was a huge thing that people wanted to know about from Vegapunk. Like, how does the devil fruit go into, like, convert, like, period. Like, not just the stuff that he said, but like more. What else? Like, and Vegapunk has the answers. We know he has the answers. We just didn't get it. And if it were the case that an object were to have it and it were this important, I could then understand why Oda wouldn't create the expectation, because then what Sai is saying would be way more foreseeable, because it's like, oh, Oda explained that so that we could get to this point, and it's like, huh, where did the fruit go? The hammer's the only one who got it, and Vegapunk did say legend, like items that have like a long history or whatever, like they could eat it, some bullshit like that, right? But also in your theoretical defense, he did, even in the Viz, right? He says to Loki just the fruit. He doesn't say Ragnir. That to me tells me that they're separate, right? Like, um, and so the plausibility of them being the Ragnir ate the fruit also works there, because like you said, he might not have known it. Um, but yeah, I feel like, and I also feel like my headcanon too is that if Ragnir is like a sentient object on its own, like Enma, Enma doesn't have a devil fruit. It's like Zoro was talking about it
Yeah.
like it was a person. And Enma's nowhere near the like one generation of giant is already more legendary than any of the swords that we've besides Shusui, obviously. But like, and the Shusui, even that, like the Shusui kind of, like it didn't. You could argue that it didn't test Zoro as much because it's like, yeah, this is great great grandchild, and it's also like he did beat Ryuma wielding the sword, so it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna mess with this guy. This guy did kind of win, So like, there we go. That's it, right? But had Zoro just come across the Shusui, hell, I would think the Shusui would run at him too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it pulled a Ragnir. And so, like, if the Ragnir is sentient on its own, and Harold in this moment, whether this is his full consciousness or it's like coke addict emu roided up Harold who's just like, I'm gonna grab everything. I could see a world where it's like it might not be that Harold registers that Loki can just pick up the Ragnir, right? Because the other part of it, and let me double check Viz's translation of the very last thing. Oh shit! Wait, you see the this shit is all
What's
you,
up?
brother?
What happened?
Wait, look at the last page. That's what you said.
Oh, the laugh?
The laugh, and what does Loki say?
Whoa, who did that?
Who? Not what is this? In TCB it says, what is this thing, right? I'm pretty sure it says, what is this thing? Who did that is that I'm fully on board. Ragnir sentient. It now stocks of it eating a fruit. Well, it goes up. It goes up. Because like I'm already the Mihawk as a sword guy. I'm already at the sentient object thing. You came in hot on the stream saying like that could be left. Not what in on TCB they had it as like gurk gurk gurk. On Viz it's straight gek gek gek. No objects making that. All right, guys, that's straight up laughing.
It's a laughter, and it reminds us
Loki,
of Get no Kitaro. I'm sorry, that's my own agenda.
Yeah. But there's another character who also has like a similar thing, but it's like I think there's another one. I think on the wiki they have one too, but also co-signed by Loki. I know we've been harsh on the Viz, but I want to look at the raws for this. Who did that is a very different phrase than what is this thing. Who did that sounds like when Luffy picked up the Kitetsu from Sukiyaki. Who did that sounds like when, Roger's talking about, or like even Zunisha. You know what I mean? Like, who's talking right now? When we're talking about the poneglyphs having voices, like this is this. Oh my god, the people who had talked about the Ragnir being a poneglyph just got a W from that. But I'm not there yet. I'm on the part where, like this is sentient object. Who did that is crazy work. Eating the devil fruit, even crazier. And now that I saw that, the other part of it too, this also kind of lines up because the reason why I went to look at this in the first place, I didn't expect it to be this crazy, was it doesn't seem that Loki's familiar with Ragnir. And that to me is an interesting thing. Because like he doesn't know what the devil fruit is, because like he's like, I don't want to eat it, but it doesn't seem like he knows what it is. Yarul does seem to know what it does, because he's like, if Harold eats it, we're all cooked. Harold probably knows what it is. I don't know if Loki knows what it does. It could be, but Ragnir is an interesting thing. You wouldn't say who did that or what is this thing if you were told that you have a sentient hammer in your family heirlooms, right? Like that would be a thing. And if my hammer was sentient, I would sure as hell tell my children that the family heirloom is a sentient hammer, not just a hammer that flies at you. And that's where I'm kind of confused, because like Harold seems like he only said it when Emu's like mind took him over, but he didn't tell Loki to go for Ragnir. And my thinking is that I just don't think that Harold thought that Loki was like righteous enough or could get it if that's a Mjolnir route, or he thought he was ready for it. So he thought it's just the devil fruit. And you got to imagine too, he's at a state where he freed him from jail, and he's literally like, you need everything to beat me right now. I'm immortal. You need to be Loki, and you need to be Loki with the legendary devil fruit. if the Ragnir was on top of that, why wouldn't he tell him? Why wouldn't he tell him to pick up the hammer too? I know I didn't tell you about the hammer, but the hammer is important. Get the hammer. You know, like, why wouldn't he say that? To me, it kind of is like, I don't think he thought that Loki could get the hammer or that the hammer would get to him. And that would apply with Enma, right? Like, Sukiyaki was literally like, I don't know if Zoro can handle it. So he tested Zoro. And then Zoro's like, yo, no, this sword is actually draining my arm right now. I could die. And Sukiyaki was hella surprised because that's the reality. It's like Odin Haki versus Zoro Haki. Odin was born with that sword and Zoro wasn't. So it's like, why would Harold give him something? Imagine that. Loki picks up a weapon that kills him. Like stunts him like Enma did to Zoro. That would be stupid, right? Why would Harold do that? That's where my brain's at. If Ragnir is anything like Enma, it would have been a detriment unless Ragnir chose to be with it. And Harold wouldn't know that, right? That would be a completely separate thing. If Odin told anybody else, hey, pick up Enma, use it right now, they would die. They would die. It's not like Hiyori and Momo just started whipping out that sword. Like, no, they're like, let's keep it in a box. We're not ready for this. So I imagine Ragnir is that times 1,000. It's bigger, it's stronger.
And it kind of goes back to like what Loki said before we came to this flashback, where Scomper said, yeah, you can beat the God Knights. They're not immortal. You need Conqueror's Haki. And then Loki was like, oh man, I couldn't put into words before. It's like, wait, what? So that means that however he beat the God Knights, it was not knowingly. Like he just landed a couple of blows and it worked, and he didn't really know too much. So if Ragnir is like sapping his Haki, infusing blows, or if the Devil Fruit does that, then yeah, like Loki would have no clue that was what did it. He just thought, oh, maybe it was that certain hit, maybe it was that spot. But now, like, he's put it into words. It all makes sense. And yeah, Ragnir, there's so many things that could work for Ragnir, whether it has its own fruit, whether it's sentient, whether it's a homie. I think there's a lot of good theories about this. And I'm excited because the next chapter, I do think Ragnir is going to be talking. And, going back to, like, the whole thing where Loki's chained up with Seastone, that's one big thing, right? If this fruit is eaten by the hammer, why is Loki chained up with Seastone? Nobody's broken Seastone, brother. Like, Seastone is... Nobody in the series has outright broken Seastone. That is not a thing yet. So if you're going to chain somebody up, yeah, chain them up in Seastone. That's how I view it, right? Whether you have a Delpher or not, chain them up in Seastone. And the example I used in my previous video was Zoro. I said, okay, Zoro, you have him as a prisoner at Impelled Down. Would you rather chain Zoro up with regular steel cuffs, or would you chain Zoro up with Seastone? I'm sorry, guys, I'm using Seastone. I know he doesn't have a Devil Fruit. I'm just going to use it because I know he's not going to break out of that. So that's where I draw the line. And then, of course, like another thing with the hammer, too, is that when you look at the hammer, it's also chained up in Seastone. Like, it's behind Loki, but the Seastone is touching and holding the hammer back. And it's like, okay, that's kind of funny. So, like, maybe the reason why the hammer hasn't talked or the hammer doesn't do anything or it can't, change is because, yes, it is touching the Seastone with Loki.
Yeah, and that's why I'm honestly more, because I have videos. Two primary ones that people remember, Miyaga's Sword. The title's is kind of deceiving, but if you listen to it, one of the main things I said is that, hey guys, sentient weapons gonna increase towards Elbaf, and I wasn't even meaning Mjolnir. I was just meaning like we're gonna get more Enmas. I don't know if it's gonna be legendary Mjolnir, but it could be, and here we are. And you gotta wonder,
isn't that crazy? Wait, sorry. I don't mean to break your train of thought. Yeah. Isn't it crazy that we and I guess so many people have been talking about Mjolnir coming in, and we finally have Ragnir? It's like, oh, that came true, man. A community theory genuinely came true. Yeah, like well ahead of time. Yeah. Like this was like a theory back during like Dressrosa. And
like the other thing is like it's on screen. There's no explanation that this hammer can move on its own, Devil Fruit or not. So then you got to ask yourself, okay, if it can move on its own and it doesn't have a Devil Fruit, why was it stuck with Loki?
Yeah.
Isn't that like when Thor is stuck? Isn't it always Mjolnir is fine and it can fly around? Yeah, but what if that would be the Oda twist. It's Mjolnir, but with a Devil Fruit. That's literally Oda's twist. Imagine that, Mjolnir with a weakness to the sea. crazy. Honestly, kind of makes sense, but like, you know, um to me it fits. To me it fits so many different things, and honestly, I love it for the fact that like if we're talking about sentience, the object having sentience, which again, go my you know, Mihawk is a sword videos were talking about the sentient of objects and some of them eating devil fruits. And it's like we were waiting for that explanation eventually. There's no better object than this. And it also contrasts like Shamrock, right? We don't know if the Cerberus is devil fruit or not, but like we're getting weapons that are like turning into animals. We're getting weapons that can kill Zoro. We're getting
They're
why
getting
not?
crazy,
Why not?
brother.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. And then like you were saying, if you tie up anyone's Seastone, like I'm pretty sure I'm trying to find the thing again where it's like Whitebeard threw like a quake at the wall and they put up like the second wall or whatever at that time, and then it didn't do anything, and they're like, huh, it must be made of Seastone. Like the assumption was like, I don't think we got it confirmed, but it was like the assumption was basically like, damn. Seastone can stop Whitebeard? That's crazy. I guess we got to test it now. That's awesome, you know? But
Mm-hmm.
like Seastone is, if there's an object to give durability to, it's definitely Seastone, guys. Come on. It's the mythical thing that Oda made up. Like it's not a tree. It's literally just a made up shit, bro. And part of the made up shit makes clouds. That doesn't make sense either, right, guys? Like, so I don't know. It's kind of, I feel like I would give Seastone this indestructibility um to hold back Loki.
Yeah, if you have a
And hey,
giant that took all of Elbaf to hold down, yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna use Seastone. I'm not gonna use regular chains with this dude. Like
I
it's
bury him.
yeah, I mean it's like Garp. Do you think they used regular chains for Garp or Seastone?
I
I
mean, they
use
stabbed
Seastone,
him.
brother. I would use
they
Seastone.
they pinned him down with a giant spear. They could have done that. They should have done that with Loki. The reality is, if you guys remember Whole Cake Island with Pound, that's what I would do to Loki. He'd be a head sticking out of the ground. That we would think he's an Easter Island head. And then Luffy would be baffled about how big. Imagine how much harder it would be to take off chains and dig him out of the ground. He's huge. I'd dig him into the ground. That's easily what I would do. Hell, I'd put him under
Easily.
the tree if I could. Like the shit. You guys see this guy? And that's actually on a last thing. Someone said something in the comments. I didn't even think about it. And it's kind of the thing that I want the most. And I didn't like their version of it. No offense to the chatter who said that, the commenter who said that.
Major
They were like,
offense.
Par, I think that Loki's eyes are going to be important to beating Harold. It's going to be something like akin to like what Shirahoshi doesn't know, but there's like, and he was saying that like, oh, he thinks that it can reverse the thing, and so he believed that Loki actually put the abyss mark on Yarul instead. And I'm like, all right,
Okay,
I
that's
don't
crazy.
know.
I like the beginning
Yeah,
of it
yeah.
though.
Yeah, that's what I liked. And I'm like, oh my God, wait, actually, that bear did get decapitated and we have no idea. That's a day one baby. And that was the one time his eyes were out. If there was a thing to give those eyes, it's like the Sukuna like eye disintegration. You know what I mean? Like give him something like that. And maybe it could like cut the tether that holds Harold and he just doesn't know. But that would be too cracked. But minimum, I like the idea that the eyes play a role here
Oh yeah.
somehow.
Like hopefully he
So
awakens some power. I mean, it's like
yeah,
Shirahoshi, right? Shirahoshi's powers awakened when her mom died.
we
Maybe it happens
he
here.
kills his dad and he gets the Mangekyo. Yo, straight up. Straight he did get the Itachi backstory. He killed his entire mom's side of the family, right?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of he killed the Uchihas. They were the the golden bloodline, so to say, you know.
They were them
They
boys.
didn't look like it. They didn't look only Estrid looked good. Everyone else in that village, I don't
I don't
know
know.
what
I
happened.
don't know. I don't know.
Estrid had
They
to
kind of
have
look
plastic
fire. Let's
surgery.
be real. You're just
No,
hating.
they had hella plastic surgery, bro. It was insane. They put all of their money into Estrid's plastic surgery to make her queen. 100%, 100 p.
I think you're just
They
being
starved
mean to
everybody.
them.
I'm just saying, I acknowledge Estrid was really good looking. I just don't know where it came from. And when I've seen that, it's like when the two people, they like, I'm not gonna say they're ugly, but they didn't look the way they did with plastic surgery. And then they had like 4 kids, and then their kids grew up and they looked like how their parents did pre-plastic surgery. It's like, yeah, that's kind of how that works. The plastic surgery doesn't go along with the genes, Just saying, just saying, you know.
You're mean spirited, Par.
Yeah, yeah.
How dare you call characters ugly?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry, I called Ida's poisonous murders ugly. What, next thing you're gonna say, you don't believe the capital punishment for him too? Crazy.
No, I think we should spare him. He needs a lawyer.
What?
So, anyways, Shanks and
Admits to the
Gabon are
crime.
here, and one thing I didn't really like think about too hard was that this is two-armed Shanks. This is the first real fight we've seen two-armed Shanks in. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, Harold's done, bro.
Yeah,
We've been
dude.
power scaling one arm Shanks. Harold's up against God times 2. This is insane.
Sorry, Harold.
my
You're
God.
getting cooked, buddy.
Because the cope and the theory, well, I'm not gonna say cope. What am I sounding like, a ZKK Mihawk fan? No, the idea was that Shanks didn't get weaker with one arm, but it'd be weirder to say that he doesn't get stronger with two. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, maybe when Mihawk.
But then again, this is a young
fought,
Shanks, so it's like I don't know.
Yeah.
But still,
when
like this
Mihawk
is
and
like the strongest version of Shanks, possibly.
Yeah, and we gotta calculate the age too. You know what I'm saying? Like the age that we're power scaling Shanks with one arm versus the age when he fought Mihawk. We don't know. We don't know how old he was with the 2 arms. But the other part is this is life or death. Was Mihawk really like they were just brothers? You know what I'm saying? You don't kill brothers. You fight. Swordsmen don't just decapitate each other all the time. Japan wouldn't have people then. You know what I mean? If every swordsman just killed every swordsman that they fought with, you just wouldn't have swordsmen. You know what I mean? Even enemies. I was reading a story about 2 swordsmen. They were on opposite sides, and they've met on multiple battlefields, and they're like, "I respect you. I respect you. How about we call this one a draw and we just charter a peace treaty?" He's like, I'm down for that, honestly.
I respect you, brother.
Yeah. But yeah,
I got some things going on with that.
Shanks.
Two-armed Shanks. Maybe we'll see a named attack next chapter. That was my prediction. Just like I was doing like a bingo sheet. I was like, yo, like maybe we'll see an actual named attack from him here.
I just realized I forgot I didn't say what I was saying earlier. Remember when you were talking about like, hey, if I had Loki in Udon, I would 100%, or Zoro in Udon, right? I would put Seastone on him, and I was just like, you know what I would do? And I would just feed them devil fruits and then put Seastone. Like Roger 100%. He's not walking to the stand without a devil fruit in him and Seastone on him. Ain't no way. He could kill everybody with his hockey. And the thing is, the live action fixed it by having Garp there. But sure as hell, everyone's dying if he really wanted to. He didn't look like he was dying, like dying. He didn't look like he had like 8 rounds of chemo in him or something. But like, when it comes to the Shanks Harold thing, I think we talked about this a little bit. I think it needs to be that if you have the shallow mark, you can't teleport, period. And I know that you already are on that side. I was of the idea, because when they said like, oh, these people don't have marks, they didn't specify tier of mark, which, we didn't know there were tiers at the time. But I was thinking that like Gunko, who has most likely a deep sea or maybe even a higher one, I don't even know, she can teleport people and she can teleport anybody. But like Shanks and like the lowest level, they can't teleport themselves or other people. But it needs to be that they can't force teleport other people like that just willy-nilly, because Harold could just teleport. Like technically, Harold could just teleport Shanks out. He's like, all right, I'm done with you. I'm done with you, and he's poof. Technically, if it worked like that, you just need to be marked up. Um, technically, someone could just show up and do that to him now that the thing is
Yeah.
there. Like you said, like Sommers, technically could just appear. Which is, do you think that like a Holy Knight's gonna come here?
I hope so. I hope that they come mainly because it would make sense. Like they could easily teleport, blink of an eye, Abyss Circle. Emu knows more or less that Harold is trying to rebel. Yeah, send a God Knight to figure out what the hell's going on. And yeah, maybe like they show up late, right? I don't mind that. Like, oh, they show up and Harold's already dealt with. Cool. Don't mind that at all. But it's like, I don't know, at least send somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. It's still interesting too, because like they show up, Shamrock and Gunko, they show up and they're like, where is Loki? And it's like, what did you think happened? And why don't you know the
Why don't you know
circumstance a
what
little?
happened, too?
Yeah. Like there's certain things that are just like, huh? You didn't know the immediate events afterwards to the like the island and race that you like basically say will shape the future of the world of this world. Like that's a kind of an important not sorry, I'm gonna go back to the part that Emu just turned on autopilot immediately. As soon as Harold could not control his body, Emu's like, fine, finally, I could go full autopilot. That's crazy, and left. And the reason why that's crazy is that the moment that happens, Shanks shows up. And it's like, that's the part of One Piece where you have to suspend belief. Like, yeah, Emu
Yeah,
just
if
left the
Emu was like
perfect timing.
watching this, oh man, the commentary we could have gotten.
Yeah, because like at this moment, unless a Holy Knight shows up, Shanks is just not like he just missed his last mission. Not that he's not a part of them, right?
Yes, he's still right now Godsteel. He didn't like defect fully. So like maybe that's why I like the idea that Shamrock and Sommers come here like a God Knight, because then they could get like his official resignation.
Yeah, but the thing is, see, my thing is like, can't Emu just like, if that's the case, can't they just like, I would imagine, like, yeah, I get it, out of range, sure, but like, Shanks goes on years with this mark on him. You're telling me he never was in range? Because I would imagine that the moment he gets in range, if they know at this event that he defected, can't Emu insta kill him like Saturn? Right? I imagine that's a part of
Maybe,
the.
but then again, it's like vicinity, right? Maybe it's like just the range. Like, yeah,
That's what I'm
Emu's up in
saying.
the Holy Land, so since Shanks doesn't go back there, he can't get insta killed.
But that's what I'm saying. There's 8 years until he gets the arm lopped off, right? Not 8 years. Sorry, 2 years. 2
Yeah,
years.
2 years. Yeah.
2 years. 2 years. So then he'd have to be hiding for 2 years if he gets discovered now. Otherwise, he could still go out within the capacity of a Holy Knight.
I mean, it's not like Emu can leave the room, so it's like, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, but like, we need a range indicator, bro. We need a range indicator.
A range indicator would just be like the Holy Land, I'm assuming. Because he talked to Harold and he's fine.
Wait, no. Were they out of the Holy Land? Is that it? I thought they were just like someone random.
I'm assuming they were out of the Holy Land when he was talking to Harold.
Let me see. Yeah, but I was assuming. Okay. I see. I was assuming it's like hemisphere. You know what I mean? Like, or an east of like a blue of distance. You're telling me like he loses a. Why is there even a range on the lowest tier? Shouldn't it be the flip?
To not expend that much power. I get it.
There? Are we gonna put a limiter on the range of like they don't even get powers in the first place? They just like get a tattoo. You know what I mean?
Cook,
like,
brother.
So once we are out of the Holy Land, yeah. I guess he said so. Once we're out of the Holy Land, we finally had a chance to talk openly. Yeah, you're right. It does just say, I didn't take that stat literally, but based off of how Viz and let me just double check TCB because did I miss? Maybe I took TCB like and spun it my own way. But let me just double check. He says, yeah, it meant we could only talk more plainly when we were. Oh, yeah. So when it says when we were away from the Holy Land, that's kind of different than. So once we were out of the Holy Land, that sounds like the moment we got out of the Holy Land,
We're fine.
we were good.
Yeah.
But like in the TCB, it says when we were away. It doesn't necessarily mean like
Yeah. I
as
just
soon
thought
as
it
we
was
got
like
to
a
Red Port.
assumption. I thought that was just like the
Yeah.
most common thing. It's just like, yeah, like
Well,
out of the Holy Land,
yeah,
you're good.
because it would have to. I guess it would have to be
That'd
like
be like the
Red
easiest way
Port.
to distinguish range too.
It would have to be like Red Port then, because like the ship. That's what I was like. Oh,
Or it
there's a
could just
ship
be
there.
like,
And I was like,
it literally could be anywhere else. It doesn't have to be Redport. I don't want to be
right,
that guy,
and
but
that's
like,
where
I mean, yeah, it could be just anywhere.
well, so that's why I'm saying like for example, people. I mean, obviously, there's the underlying part of like he's a pirate, moonlighting as a holy knight, and he's clearly strong enough, but he doesn't become a Yonko till afterwards. And if there wasn't like a range stopping him, you know what I mean? Like, because it's after he gets the arm lopped off, that's when he becomes a Yonko, right? Or is it before?
Should
It's six
be
years after, right?
should be
Or not 6
after.
years after. Yeah, I think it's after.
Yeah, it's after.
So that's why I was
Yeah.
like, that would also work. It's like, yeah, if there was a range that prevented him from going to like parts of the New World, then it would make sense, like why Shanks came out loud when he did. But it's also weird with the nuance of like he is a recognizable pirate that Harold recognizes, and that crew is still active, and he's a holy knight and he's respected, and he was about to get promoted with no like background check, no FBI or cipher poll background check. I guess it's kind of
Yeah, they didn't do their due
all
diligence to
interesting.
say the least. Like,
Yeah,
I'm assuming at this
can't wait
point,
for
the God Knights just do not read the newspapers. Like, I
Big
mean,
News
that's what it has to
Morgans
be, right? I
doesn't.
mean, Shanks is a pirate. They told Harold to go kill pirates. Like, do they not check to see, like, oh, one of the pirates is actually red hair Shanks? Oh, weird.
I think they do. Doesn't we have Mosgard reading it? Which
Maybe
isn't
they
to
just don't read
discount
the
what you're
bounty
saying.
posters.
Yeah, like that's it. I'm nitpicking there, but like I think that it's just kind of wild if like they just like as a whole, like yeah, I get Mosgard, their rank right, but now we're talking God Knights, we're talking Gorsei. You know what I mean? Like that's a little bit different than like
Things can happen, bro.
yeah.
Stranger
We
things
know.
have
Oh, we know
happened.
Saturn reads it. We know Saturn reads the newspaper.
But okay, here's the thing. We don't know what they read in the newspaper, though.
Oh no! You know what? We don't know if they can read.
They just look at the pictures that Big News Morgans post.
Yeah. That's people get
Yeah.
by with that. That's a real thing, guys. Was it Barbara Bush? She was the one who spearheaded. There was a huge problem with adult literacy. Many adults got through even college just by like winging it, just by making shit up.
That's what I did.
Yeah, makes sense.
I just
That's
played the
why we
race
read
card.
picture books. Yeah, picture books for the win.
Picture books for the win. Amen. Amen. So, now that we've reached the end of this chapter part, is there anything significant you want to end off on? Any big announcements? Any big theories? What's the 411?
Nah, just Happy New Year's, guys. Merry Christmas. Stay healthy. Don't be like Oda and forego your health. Um, if you have friends, don't be like Shanks, or maybe be like Shanks, and you either don't tell them anything and don't do that, or tell them everything. Well, also don't do that too. You shouldn't put everything on your friends either. Like, isn't that it's kind of like the pressure they put on, like especially Ben Beckman, man. He might be the greatest first captain if he's like maintaining all this while like playing Holy Knights. Like, you gotta remember, guys, the Holy Knights are the end stage of the Revolutionary Army. The entire army, they didn't save Ginny for this group. And now Ben Beckman has to like play, I don't even know, Agent Smith with this. Like, this is crazy. And then, like, imagine if it was Zoro. Zoro wouldn't be able to tell the difference between Luffy and a Luffy clone. That'd be wild. I imagine Zoro just killed both of them, right? ZKK for the win.
I mean, there's a chance that maybe Shanks wears special, like, cologne so that the crew knows that it's him versus Shamrock.
Yeah.
That's what my Valentine did in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Did you hear what I said while you said what you said?
Yeah, you said something about farting. I'm not.
Yeah, I was gonna say the cologne is just farting because twins probably fart the same.